If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, goddamn I'm not.
All right. But does anyone see that? No. Does anyone care about that? No. All they see is an aggressive black girl talking.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Peace, family. It's your boy Young Pharaoh here, Lofi, the Holy Ghost, and this is serious. Seriously, and I'm in here getting Freakrella, Sexarella on y'all hoes. Yes, coming with them cheaterellas. Don't worry about my birthday design gonna be, but this is the test. It's the spirit of a cat. Why? Because I channeled something the other day, and this is what influenced. Well, one of the things that influenced me besides myself, Jabone. So it's half killer in me, half pimp, half samurai, half cheaterella. And with that being said, I'm getting my shit done. This is the vlog, brother. I got my shit retwisted. I got like that. Right. I'm Sexarella. So I know how I'm rocking. I got to get used to having these though, so I don't. My damn face.
I'm sitting there. It wasn't. I know that's what you're talking about.
Like.
Why is everybody transgender all of a sudden, y'all? What the hell is going on here? Hit the like button. Hit the goddamn like button. I need you to trans the like button, all right? Everybody's doing it. You might as well get on board. Go ahead and trans that like button. Jesus Christ, man. What happened to your boy Young Pharaoh? I saw a picture of this the other day. And my tweet, my initial thought was, this is basically the final form of the niggas who say the black woman is God. This really is the final evolution right here. This is like when Vegeta came back, that last, I mean, not Vegeta. What was the one guy, the purple guy's name? Anyway, I forget his name. It was a long time ago on Dragon Ball Z, but you know what I mean. Like the nigga done hit his final, this is his most powerful form. He about to achieve all his pro-black goals. This nigga about to pro-black himself into having a coochie. Anyway.
These gonna come out sexy. And y'all know I had to go to my favorite, the Asian. It's my favorite. So I'm gonna show y'all the finished results. I'm gonna go off for a little bit. You can see if it's busting. If not, I'm gonna parking lot outside jump till I bounce.
The nigga got a throat tattoo? Hold up. Oh yeah, the nigga got a throat tattoo. I just realized not only does he have the Egyptian eyeshadow thing going on up here, the nigga trying to bring Egyptian eyeshadow back. He trying to make it a thing all by himself. But he also got a throat tattoo. The nigga got wings on his throat. This nigga got throat wings, bro. He got cheetah nails and throat wings. What are we doing? What in the blackness is going on, man? You know, this is why I don't even worry about identifying with general blackness anymore. I can't be like compelled anymore. I can't be shamed. I can't be bargained with. I can't be reasoned with. I just refuse. I absolutely will not stop not being with these niggas. I am never ever with these niggas. I am always by myself. In a crowd of niggas, I am always by myself. Yeah, I know black. I'm something else. I know black. This is some other shit. Nah, don't say he isn't black. The nigga, this nigga is one of the black mascots. You see? Look, this is what I mean. Look. Soon as the nigga reaches final form, you want to act like he wasn't in the gang this whole time. Come on now. And not for nothing. This is something that's going to come up later on, I guess, in the stream. I mean, honestly, I'm going to have kind of a random sort of show anyway. I can kind of go in any direction on an opening. But the black community has always had, you know, this type of problem, this type of thing. When I first heard like woke black people say shit like, you know, the European heteronormative patriarchal oppressive system, whatever. When I first heard them describing like white Christian culture as like oppressively heterosexual, meaning like the white man won't let you niggas diddle each other in the bush no more. The white man won't let you niggas diddy each other up no more. I started to realize maybe I haven't been looking at this properly. Maybe I hadn't understood what this was really about. And then when you learn about like all the secret activities of like the Black civil rights movement, even before the proper Black civil rights movement, put a 1 in the chat if you had to study the Harlem Renaissance when you were in high school. Let's do that. How many of y'all were good students and did all your book reports and you read all your chapters on time? Put a 1 in the chat if they made you learn about the Harlem fucking Renaissance back in high school. Did they tell you that most of the Black people you learned about during the Harlem Renaissance were pipe smokers and rug munchers? They were pipe smokers and rug munchers, y'all. It was just what it was. It was Black, it was beautiful, and it was historically gay. From day one, from ground zero of Black history, it was gay. It really was. And so when I tell you that these niggas are reaching their final form, don't shoot the messenger, brother. But welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you on board.
I mean, stripper pole. She was chopping. So I'm sure I can still play the game. All right, I can still whoop y'all ass. That's all I count. That being said, it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. All right, y'all. We halfway through. Sexarella. These them Sexarellas. And they came out exactly how I envisioned them in my mind. I'm telling y'all right now, it was either going to be this, shark teeth, or yellow viper scales. And don't nobody better steal my yellow viper scales, because I'm still coming out with those. Them
yellow viper scales. The nigga want scales. What do you even do with this, man? What do you even do with this? Remember once upon a time, he was like a thing on the Black internet. He had all this like knowledge, power, wisdom he used to be delivering. He was building every night, trying to like educate the people and free their mind. And I always wonder about, and this is like a test of liberal movements, like left-wing stuff in general, but especially when it comes to these like revolutionary Pan-Africa, pro-Black, Ungawa, Black power type of niggas, like you gotta ask yourself, like, where does it all end? What's the vision of your Black utopia? And for the most part, not every single one has this particular like affliction. Some of them are just, straight guys with, stupid ideas. But a lot of them want it to be some type of like gender fluid gay utopia. The gaytopia.
Vipers. So don't steal my shit. But with that being said, I'm finna start popping my shit to y'all. Yes, sir. Finna start popping my shit to y'all hoes. Let's go. That tight.
Yeah, so you
Defeat my father if he's
Red Illusion in the chat is posing a profound philosophical statement. This is the proposition at hand. The revolution requires your booty hole. It really does. And when I realized just the general tone and tenor of a lot of that type of politic, that social political order, I have a question now. Given that to be true, Red, right? You got to ask these guys, right? If you could suck a dick and end racism forever, would you do it? Think about it. Think about it. Listen. How badly do you want to end racism is all I'm asking. How far are you willing to go to end racism? All right. Everybody got to do their part. What if that's your part? Snowman, we already know. We already know how you feel about racism, bro. I wasn't posing that question to you. I was asking the pro-black, gender fluid, radical black revolutionary types out there. I'm just curious. Like, I'm trying to test, like, how far how committed are they to the cause? You know, you don't have to answer me all at once, but how committed are they to the cause? It's just, something it occurred to me one day. Maybe that's their solution. Maybe that is their solution. And so sometimes, I just get right to the punch. I don't like to play around with the build-up. You just got to jump right out there and get right to the heart of the matter. But anyway, let's move on from this. But I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. We are going to be talking about a bunch of different varying Black-related issues today. Politics, gender, race-related, all these things that touch the Black culture and community in one way or another. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. So I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but we're going to be up here for a couple hours. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. You want to support the show, hit the link in the chat. You can go over to buymeacoffee.com. You can buy me a Mocha Laka Frappa Grande for $25 if you feel like it. You can buy me a little teeny tiny $5 cup of coffee, whatever you want. But either way, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for watching. Now, we were talking about the tragic death of one Mr. Jason Arde. You guys remember the first Black professor? I think he was Cambridge's first Black professor. He was a young Black man who had allegedly overcome many of hardship in life. He started out his life with just a lot of trials and tribulations. He was autistic. He couldn't speak. Probably, therefore, he probably couldn't read or write until he was very older, much older rather. He was like, I don't know, 11 when he could speak, and then by the time he was, let's say 20-ish, he was writing books and on his way to being a professor in college. It was a great story of Black perseverance and achievement and overcoming, and it was all bullshit. And when it all came out, and everybody on the internet and the TV, they rightfully mocked all the gargantuan tales. I mean, because it wasn't just that he told lies. A lot of people lied, but he told like impossible. He told the type of lies that make you question the faculties of all the people that believed in him in the first place. All the people that made him the first Black professor at Cambridge. Like, how smart are these people? Of all the white people, you're supposed to be the smartest of this current crop of white people, and you believe this nigga stupid bullshit. Like, it just made the situation really retarded, really ridiculous, right? And then to kind of coup de grace the whole thing, Jason Arde apparently took his own life.
It was very clear that he was overwhelmed, he was upset, he was depressed, he couldn't see a way out because of this avalanche of stories. 188 stories on Jason Arde. It's a mob. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. And he just he didn't want to leave the house. When I saw him on Monday, he had lost lots of weight. He was clearly damaged by all this scrutiny and speculation around him.
And clearly emotionally isolated from what you just said. Was he on his own yesterday when you spoke?
So he's had people around him, and we've been trying to support him. But I do want to stress here, this isn't just a tragedy. A man was lynched yesterday. Like, when you talk about those amount of articles, and you can't just blame Cambridge University. This is the media.
A man was lynched, you guys. We can't let this happen anymore. Niggas, educated niggas that done overcame a lot in life are out here getting lynched, and we can't let this happen anymore.
Yeah, this is 188 articles. This is constant scrutiny. This is people outside of his house, even today when he's died. This is unprecedented. And I want to stress this very clearly. If he was white, he would still be alive. This is the story, and I just can't believe how bad it's become.
A lynching?
Now let's
What else would you
examine
call
that.
it? So you
If he was white, he would still be alive. Are you saying that a white man could withstand the barrage of criticism and mockery that you rightfully bring upon yourself when you get caught out there in such a major way? 30 marathons in 30 days. Like, I could give you a couple of days worth of marathons. Maybe you ran a 10K, a 5K or whatever, and then you went home, you took a long nap, had a bowl of oatmeal, you got right back at it the next morning. Maybe you did that for a couple of days, but 30, bro. And then when you get caught lying about the whole thing, when everybody starts to question it all, you just can't deal with it. And you're telling me a white man could totally eat that shit? Wow.
You have people like Nathan Koffnass, let's just say these are racist ideas, who put this idea out there that he's a victim of plagiarism. We still hear this. You did it today in the same story. Victim of, he was allegations of plagiarism. Those allegations were investigated and he was cleared. I read his PhD a year ago and said this is not plagiarism, and he was cleared. Yet that's still part of the story. And then all of this resounding pressure, media pressure around him, memes on TikTok.
Okay.
I would have said before it was metaphorically a lynching, but like I said, he's now dead because he's black. What else do we call that but a public lynching of this man?
That notwithstanding, we arrive at that situation, do we not? Because it is said by some that the duty of care, which not just one university, and you work in universities, but perhaps two more, didn't execute in the way that they should have done. Surely there is some responsibility lying there, and surely that needs an independent, truly independent, fully independent inquiry.
Oh, certainly there's I'm interested about the other universities. I would say they're part of the thing I always push back heavily, being an academic, knowing how jobs get handed out. This idea that that Jason was somehow not credible, given the job for the wrong reasons. There is no evidence of that at all. He was a professor at Glasgow and he moved to be a professor at Cambridge. Cambridge certainly have a duty of care. Cambridge did the right thing at first. They knew it was a smear. He'd been working behind the scenes for 3 years on this, and they said, look, this is a smear, nothing to see here. But sadly, because of all the media pressure, they then bowed to that, and also from some academics at Cambridge, and said, we're going to launch an investigation. An investigation into what?
Right.
The allegations about him lying about running the marathons aren't actually precedent to his job. So when they said they were going to do this investigation, that's what led to his resignation.
But
and that was a complete mistake.
And remember what I was saying the other day about this thing, like, you just have to believe black people now. If you don't believe black people, then you're putting black lives in danger. You might even be putting your own career at risk, either or. That's why I actually found this meme I had to put. This is not even a meme. This is just somebody's post, but it's a very ironic, spot-on post, you know. A black woman invented the telescope. You might disagree. You might even have some evidence to the contrary, but you have to ask yourself, is this really worth losing my job over? A black woman invented the telescope.
This idea that Jason's part of this wider trend to shove black academics down the throats of the masses is an absolute myth when you look at the numbers. There aren't that many Jason nowadays, right? There aren't that many black professors. So this idea that D&I is being used to shape academia in quite perverse ways is absolute nonsense.
So the idea that corners are cut and standards are allowed to slip in
I
a
don't
kind
think
of
that's true.
desperate bid to get more black people into academia, you challenge that, Michael?
I challenge that firmly. I can look at my journey as an example. There's no corners cut. You know, academics like me are constantly on these fixed-term contracts, trying to find a way, trying to make a way into academia. So the idea that corners are cut is an absolute myth. And again, this is part of the agenda.
Now, what this gentleman is suggesting, Dr. Michael Bankole here, what he is attempting to suggest is that there is no outsized push to find as many black people that they can and get them into academia, to the point that they would even lower the qualifications and ignore maybe some red flags in order to hit these quota numbers. Now, that has always been the criticism of every type of affirmative action, DEI type of scheme, where you're just not going to find as many qualified black people as you imagine that there are. Which ironically, that's kind of what led to Jason Arday's downfall. The guy who originally started writing the articles and doing the expose on him in Cambridge, he was already under hot water for making that very, very argument. I'm going to pull that up next, but he was making that very argument that you're just not going to get as many talented Black people as you imagine.
These kind of platforms want to push this idea that Black people are undeserving, the kind of corners being cut for them at the expense of white people. This is all part of their agenda. So people can say that this investigation was fair-minded and it was about trying to expose Jason Harday. It absolutely was not. This was about pushing an agenda that pushes back against racial justice, that pushes back against the importance of Black people being promoted. It's about pushing it back against that. How dare these Black people try to fight for racial justice and racial equality? That was the tone of the coverage. And that's ultimately why this story became such a big story. Because this is what we've been telling you guys. These Black people do not deserve the positions they're currently in.
And the funny thing is, most of the coverage, at least from what I watch, and I did a whole show on it, so I played a lot of video, most of it was just laughing at the audacity of his like lies. Like, he had big, big dreams. He really did. Like I said, he was the best that ever did it. But he had to lie about it, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it makes you wonder how much lying is actually going on here.
This and that sort of thing. Now, Arday was special. The reason Arday is getting a lot of attention is he took the plagiarism, which is fairly common in academia, too far. And he told these crazy lies about his personal life. And he had such an exalted position that the mismatch between the quality and the prestige was so enormous that there was a hook for a story. That was what was special about him. Not that he's a fraud, not that he's a worthless scholar. It's that there was a story. There's a basis for a news story that would capture people's attention. But, you know, there are so many cases of people who are just like Arday, but, you know, there isn't that kind of story potential. Well, maybe the lesson is this: what's happened if you don't give Coffness a job, right?
Yeah, you got your own ways to retaliate. What are you going to do, do you think? You're going to finish your PhD? Or no, you've already finished it. You're just going to...
No, I finished a long time ago,
Yeah, so what are you going to do?
Well, I have the job currently, and I'm still waiting for the revolution to happen, and then
It's going to take a while.
Get another job. After the revolution, I'll be the head of the Department of Eugenics and Race Science at Harvard, maybe.
Now that man, this gentleman you just listened to, his name is Nathan Confast. He is the reporter, I guess, the writer who was doing the story on Jason Arday. And he was already in trouble with Cambridge. Apparently, Cambridge refused to hire him, and he got into some hot water because he made some comments that are just not really welcome in that world.
So they say, wow, wokeism is going away. There's a barely perceptible dip.
It's an honor. I can't emphasize enough how grateful I am to the university. You know,
the mismatch between the quality and the prestige was so enormous that there was a hook for a story. After the revolution, I'll be the head of the Department of Eugenics and Race Science at Harvard. DEI, as we know it, and you're just selecting the tail.
Listen to how ominous the music is, though. And this is from Al Jazeera, by the way. It's like they're talking about Palpatine.
So my point, or one of the points I make, is that you don't understand what would happen if we actually had a colorblind meritocracy. Representation of certain groups, such as African Americans, would be decimated. It would fall, well, not just a reduction of 10%, but it would fall to 10% of what it is.
Now, what he just laid out right there is, without these programs to, correct some kind of imbalance, then the accurate representation of African Americans in a lot of these like really, really high achieving academic positions would be basically 10% of what it is right now. A drastic reduction. That's like a 90% reduction of where we are right now, basically.
That isn't right. Will be called a racist. So the word, that's all the word means, is that I disagree with the dominant ideology in academia.
Now, if you say and you believe
to his retirement, so that was the outcome that would have been ideal.
White supremacy suggests that, based on their kind of unique set of experiences. So I wouldn't ever want to position myself as the font of.
If the root is genetic, which to some extent it is for many of these disparities, then it doesn't matter how much money we pour on, we dump on the problem. There will still be disparities, and when it comes to group disparities between blacks and whites in the United States, and we've invested mind-boggling amounts of money and resources and effort into correcting it, and there's just a limit to what can be done.
Treat them like adults, then we have to examine it and see is
Now, what he's getting at really does kind of sort of rock the heart. It just stabs right at the heart of the whole DEI enterprise. Because what is, and I think this is probably true in a different way, but think about it, right? There's almost zero amount of money that you can spend to really fix most people. Because the thing that needs to be fixed in most people typically is a deeply internal mechanism. And you just dumping money onto a project isn't really gonna fix that internal mechanism. Like it's like the homeless situation, right? California, I think, spends maybe more money to fight homelessness than a lot of other states, than any other state, than multiple states combined, probably, right? Like I bet you Alaska and Connecticut and New Hampshire combined don't spend as much as California on the homeless, right? But every year, the amount of homeless people grows. And even though we can criticize like the people at the top and the people running the programs for just basically collecting a check, the reality is you really can't fix what's inside those people individually the way you're going about it. And that's the thing that you really just, it's hard for, I guess, a lot of liberals to contemplate, because from their point of view, their morality, their entire moral scheme, their moral framework is based upon them being perceived as the good person by joining these causes, by having these opinions, by believing in these particular things, but it's just not working. And if these things that you believe in ultimately don't work, then that means you're not a good person either. And they're just unwilling to recognize that.
At this point, sadly, and this is something that no nice, well-meaning American wants to talk about or look at, you are going to inevitably have a disparate impact. I'm sorry to say this, let me put a trigger warning out here, but you will have a disparate impact on Blacks because they have some very severe social problems right now, and their academic skills are abysmal on average. Now, I'm not, we all know the brilliant Blacks, Glenn Loury among one, who is far, far smarter than.
Yeah, everybody can think of that one really smart Black guy. Everybody knows of that one Black guy that they were friends with that was totally awesome, but he was just that one guy.
Than thousands and maybe millions of Asians and whites, but the average is very grim. The number of Black 12th graders who are advanced in math nationally is too small to even show up on a statistical sample. It's below 1% of the country's population. The average Black SAT score on math is below 450 on an 800-point scale. So that means that if you have a school like Stuyvesant that is using a completely colorblind test, a completely fair test, the chestnut from the left from the Harvard Ed School that, oh, these tests are asking students about regattas, and summering in on Martha's Vineyard. Well, of course, Blacks can't do well. It doesn't speak to their culture.
Now, what she's referring to is the idea that let's say an IQ test, for example. One of the lines of pushback that people take when they get confronted with the fact that Black people don't score well on IQ tests is that IQ tests are culturally biased, right? These are questions that only white people who grew up in white America could understand. Which I have to ask, if there are so many like highly intelligent Black people who genuinely believe that your basic IQ test is culturally biased or somehow or another just generally racist, whatever your criticism is, why haven't they invented a better one yet? Why haven't one of you smart Blacks built a better mousetrap?
Is complete BS. If these tests ever had such cultural biases, we'll bracket whether that's true or not. They have been purged decades ago.
Black lady professor was fired from Tufts and had her award-winning book, withdrawn by her publisher. It's no longer listed on the publisher's website. The Grimke's, The Legacy of Slavery in an American Family. Really interesting because you never have Black people writing about slavery, or really anybody writing about slavery. Is there anything left to say about slavery? Thought I would mention that this one wasn't taken down by Christopher Rufo of the Manhattan Institute. He, you may recall, has taken out 4 Black lady academics, all at Harvard University, I believe all for plagiarism. And I don't know how they're not plagiarizing one another since all they write about is slavery. None of those were fired, disciplined, suspended.
That's actually funny and a great point. Like, everybody's covering the same topic over and over again. You're clearly going to step on each other's toes.
In any way, though he nailed them dead to rights. Only president of Harvard, Claudine Gay, resigned voluntarily after being nailed for plagiarism. So either Tufts University is far more honorable than Harvard, which I think is a pretty good guess, or the Crips are more honorable than Harvard University at this point, or this lady's academic errors were really, really big. After this book, as I say, won awards, got a just glowing review in the New York Times when it first came out in 2022. A year or two later, a retired history professor from Elmira College, Myra something or other, she reviews it for, when it had been reviewed in all these Black lady journals and women's journals, and oh, it's amazing. This is a book you've got to read. Oh, Publishers Weekly, one of the 20 books you must read this year. So the retired history professor looks at it and writes a review in the Reviews of American History. That's the name of the journal, out of Johns Hopkins. And she finds deeply flawed book, made up quotes, made up evidence, and cited things with vivid descriptions of this fire that took place at an abolitionist rally at Philadelphia Hall, and these 2 sisters, the Grimke sisters, they've had to flee. No, it's apparently been established that the rally, abolitionist rally, that rally never took place. The building was empty. This didn't happen.
Did you know you could just make up Black history, y'all? It's been a running theme on the internet for a while now, for a good minute. You can just make up Black history.
Wait, what? Great. Now, what's our motto? We was K. We was K.
Rally at Philadelphia Hall, and these two sisters, the Gremke sisters, they've had to flee. No, it's apparently been established that the rally, abolitionist rally, that rally never took place. The building was empty. This didn't happen. Most astonishing to me is that she was quoting letters between these two sisters, and her source was University of Michigan Archives. The University of Michigan Archives has no such letters. This was found out by the historian. The book, I should say, this may be, I don't think this is a really new take on slavery, but this lady professor's take was that even these heroes, these two sisters, and why are they heroes? Why are they written about constantly? Why is there so much history already written on them that the professor from Elmira knew that there were all these facts were wrong? Because number one, they were women, and we must center women in our entire history. Anything, if you can slip a woman in there, when they did these history standards, I don't know, 20 years ago, they're constantly trying to push standards from the federal government so that in case there is 3% of the day that we're not talking about slavery, or Johnny's first blowjob, it will be demanded by the federal government. These usually get shot down by conservatives, but in any event, as I recall, one of them was because we got to put women, so high up in the American Revolution. One who makes a frequent appearance is Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross did not, in fact, sew the first American flag. I mean, I'm sure she was wonderful, but doesn't really rank up there with Washington and Jefferson and John Adams and Paul Revere. But they got to slip the women in. So first of all, we got two women, and it is kind of interesting. They came from a slaveholding family in the South, moved to the North, became big campaigners for abolition. So their story has been told over and over and over again. Oh yeah. So what happens next? So the Tufts University, it assembles a whole panel. They couldn't be named. It's like being on certain juries. Their names could not be released. But they have an expert panel of historians. They spend months and months going through this book, and they finally decide that she has got to go.
Lying ass bitches. Lying about Black history, no less, y'all. And what have I been saying for a while? I've really just been questioning the general nature and the overall truthiness of what we commonly understand as the history of Black people in America, specifically around like the civil rights era and, all the oppression and all that stuff. I question everything now.
These angry, mad, opportunistic, lying Black women.
An expert panel of historians. They spend months and months going through this book, and they finally decide that she has got to go. So Tufts gets rid of her. She was, by the way, one of the Year of Our Floyd hires. She was a lecturer before then, but 2020 comes along, the Saint of George Floyd dies, and she gets a tenure track position in 2020. A lot of those didn't work out, and this is one of them. Her publisher just,
you know how bad it is when they take your tenure? When you're a college professor, tenure means that you really can't get fired for research related, any of your, you can basically explore things from a research perspective. And it's considered, an unassailable position in terms of like being a professor. You're effectively bulletproof as far as most of, university business would go. But you have to kind of, jump the bar like pretty high. You have to be breaking the glass ceiling effectively to get fired when you have tenure. Like they really fucking hate you.
I guess, looks at the report, which they will not.
And part of me thinks it was mostly the haircut. They were tired of looking at that big ass Klingon fucking forehead Every day, this overstuffed forehead bitch want to lecture me about racism and slavery. No. I couldn't wait to get you up out of here. I bet you it was the forehead.
Release, by the way. You have to read the stories about the investigation. The publisher sees the investigation, sees that she's been thrown off the faculty at Tufts, and her book isn't even listed as one of their books. Apparently, they are now looking at another book of hers. Lots of praise for that one too. So anyway, her response to this was to accuse the lady history professor who did the review exposing her, the university, and her publisher of racism. And I think that's a solid argument.
Shout out to Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter's been a down-ass bitch for a long-ass time. I think Ann Coulter secretly likes black guys, too. There's something about it. There's something about her racism tells me that she still fucks black guys, all right? You can't live here, but you can stay the night.
We were the original Indians until the Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Chinese until the Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Egyptians until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Arabs until the Turks stole our identity. We were the original Turks until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Moors until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Vikings until the white barbarians stole our identity. We were the original Greeks until the white barbarians stole our identity. We were the original Hebrews until the Khazars stole our identity. We were the original Russians until the serfs stole our identity. We were the original Hawaiians until the Asians, Chinese, Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Assyrians until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the...
I didn't realize how long this video was. Like, damn. I thought this shit was only like 30 seconds long. Wait a minute. Yo, we got to get our shit back, man. Yo, black people, what happened? What happened? How we just letting all these niggas run up in our hut, stealing our shit? You just gonna let these niggas take our shit? This is crazy. This is crazy work. You see what I mean? I can't be down with this. I can't be a part of this. I had no idea it was that bad. I had no idea that all these niggas stole all our shit. And they just been sharing it amongst themselves, playing keep away from the darkies. This is terrible. This is terrible. Hold on. Let's run that back from the top, because that was a lot. That was a lot. I'm making a list. I'm making a list of people I'm not supposed to like anymore. All right? I'm keeping a list. I got a list of names. All the ethnicities we got beef with.
We were the original Indians until the Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Chinese until the Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Egyptians until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Arabs until the Turks stole our identity. We were the original Turks until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Moors until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Vikings until the white barbarians stole our identity. We were the original Greeks until the white barbarians stole our identity. We were the original Hebrews until the Khazars stole our identity. We were the original Russians until the serfs stole our identity. We were the original Hawaiians until the Asians, Chinese, Mongols stole our identity. We were the original Assyrians until the Arabs stole our identity. We were the original Minoans until the white Greeks and Romans stole our identity. We were the original Inca until the Asian Peruvians stole our identity. We were the original Aztecs until the Mexicans stole our identity. We were the original Mayans until the Mexicans stole our identity. We were the original English until the white Anglo-Saxons stole our identity. We were the original Irish until the white Anglo-Saxons stole our identity. We were the original UFO aliens until the little green aliens stole our identity. So we got our ass kicked by everyone, and everyone took our identity?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Like when I first learned about the truth, it was a lie. I felt the way. I won't deny it. I felt some type of way. It's like, damn, bro, we just be taking all these L's. I'm getting tired of taking L's. My arms are tired from holding all these L's.
Louis Vuitton, stole it from Africa.
We was Louis Vuitton and shit.
You know what? Before we even jump into that's why Africans learn how to carry shit on their heads, because their arms were tired from holding all their L's. Boom, boom, rim shot.
Louis Vuitton, stole it from Africa.
We was Louis Vuitton and shit.
Versace, stole it from Africa.
We was Versace and shit.
The Washington Monument, stole it from Africa.
We was the Washington Monument and shit.
They even stole some of us from Africa.
We was stolen from Africa and shit.
All of y'all wealth, stole it from Africa.
They stole the gold from Africa and shit.
Statue of Liberty, stole it from Africa.
We was the Statue of Liberty and shit.
Jesus, stole it from Africa.
We was Jesus and shit.
American Eagle, stole it from Africa.
We was American Bald Eagles and shit.
Queen Elizabeth Gold, stole it from Africa.
We was Queen Elizabeth and shit.
Lincoln statue, stole it from Africa.
We was Abraham Lincoln statues and shit.
It was made in China, but stolen from Africa.
We was made in China, but stolen from Africa and shit.
The medical symbol, stolen from Africa.
We was the Caduceus, he doesn't even know how to say it, and shit.
Jesus' story, stole it from Africa.
We was the story of Jesus and shit.
The cross, stole it from Africa.
We was the crucifixion and shit.
The light bulb, stolen from Africa.
We was the light bulbs and shit. Hold on, when it comes to Somalians, I guess they have a point actually.
The Pope even know that it started with Africa.
We was the Pope and shit.
Oscar Awards, stolen from Africa.
We was the Oscars and shit.
Mount Rushmore, stolen from Africa.
We was Mount Rushmore and shit. They stole the whole fucking mountain and brought it over to the United States and shit.
I even think
Wait. How you let the white man steal a whole goddamn mountain from you? How you let the white man steal a whole mountain from you? Ain't none of y'all do nothing. You ain't throw a rock. You didn't ride a buffalo. You didn't do nothing. You just like, all right, man, it's cool. We got another mountain. We wasn't really using that one anyway.
We was the Pope and shit.
Oscar Awards, stolen from Africa.
We was the Oscars and shit.
Mount Rushmore, stolen from Africa.
We was Mount Rushmore and shit. They stole the whole fucking mountain and brought it over to the United States and shit.
I even think that it used to be African.
Mount Rushmore used to be Africans and shit.
Medusa, she was also an African.
We was Medusa and shit. We was kings. We was absolutely fucking retarded.
I'm weak, man. The internet gives as good as it gets, y'all. That's one thing I like about the internet. It's brutal, but it's mostly fair. What goes around comes around and all that shit. I love tracking all this internet racial drama. It's just fascinating stuff going on here.
White privilege, you're a racist. It's no longer inflammatory. It's become a joke. I mean, let's just be honest. And this may be the most important thing I've said all morning. Saying somebody has white privilege or saying somebody is racist has absolutely no meaning to the white community anymore. Certainly no meaning to the white media community. It certainly has absolutely no meaning to anybody in the public eye anymore because it's over.
And thinking about this whole Jason Arday scandal, and clearly he is not the only Black academic that's basically full of shit. They just don't like to make it a big story most of the time. But there does, and then not even just the academic stuff, there's just a general trend. I would actually put it, if I were gonna really capstone the shift in energy and just sort of bookmark that place in the timeline, I would say that Kamala's loss to Trump, when Trump won this time around, Kamala's loss to Trump also kind of it signaled a shift in the Black body politic that I don't think the average voter was quite aware of just yet. And even the political establishment in general, they kind of, you could see it coming, but they were kind of trying to hold it off as long as they could to avoid this point. But I think the whole Black movement is dramatically running out of steam. It really is. And I guess that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just sort of looking and laughing and pontificating about this whole thing. But you look at the Arday situation and just look at the nature of Black politics in general, the Black radical revolutionary movement. Young Pharaoh is a transgender nigger now. He's a trans nigger now. Everything is just getting out of whack. Yeah, Biden was the peak. Biden really was the peak for Black culture, Black women. And it all started to die dramatically. And some of it seemed intentional even. When you think about Trump and his war on DEI, the Doge Committee, all the Black women that got fired from all these different bullshit government jobs, all the Black women who got fired from their bullshit corporate jobs. It did start to feel intentional, but there was definitively a vibe shift.
Use this overstated, it's ran out. It just has. And again, this is just another example. So I disagree with Carrington and I disagree with Acho. You're assuming that us white folks give a anymore. There was a time we did. Oh God, yes. There was a time. I mean, hell, even me, if I would be called racist, oh my God, I got to straighten that. Not anymore. It's meaningless. It has absolutely no meaning. Now, to you, to set some type of narrative, Dejanay and this guy, but I don't know a single white person that doesn't do anything but laugh when called racist or saying you have white privilege or anything. You just laugh because it is saturated. Subscribe to Don't At Me with Dan Dakich right here on YouTube.
And I guess maybe this is the next thing I want to look at for a little bit. The Black movement really is, and has been for a while now, just generally running out of steam. And you niggas thought you can keep this up forever. That's really when I'm kind of bird's eye view, looking at the big picture of it all. It's funny to me that you really thought you can keep this up forever. I've said this a bunch of times. I remember being on the ground in New York City in the middle of a Floyd protest, trapped in my car in traffic. And I just had this feeling like you niggas have gone too far. I just knew it. I knew it then. You have gone too far. You shot your load, and I hope you're happy because it'll never be like this ever again. You really thought this would go on forever and ever and ever.
Before death is eternity, after death is eternity, there is no death, there's only eternity, and I be riding the wings of eternity like, yeah, yeah, yeah! Clack, clack.
The opposite of racist isn't not racist. It is anti-racist. What's the difference? One endorses either the idea of a racial hierarchy as a racist or racial equality as an anti-racist. One either believes problems are rooted in groups of people as a racist or locates the roots of the problems in power and policies as an anti-racist. One either allows racial inequities to persevere as a racist or confronts racial inequities as an anti-racist.
Have you noticed, we were talking about Black education and Black achievement and all that shit. Have you noticed how most of Black education is basically this type of shit? This is what all the educated niggas do right now. These niggas ain't out here building spaceships. They're not coming up with new space age materials. They're not discovering new financial products even, which, banking is fucked up, but still, it's money. But these niggas ain't out here creating anything. They are masters in racism.
There is no in-between safe space of not racist. See, anti-racism is an active pursuit, just as gate breaching is. It examines our spaces of influence and asks why and how the white supremacy within the social and power systems exists, and then it works to dismantle these things. The opposite of racist isn't not racist. It is anti-racist. What's the difference? One endorses either the idea of a racial hierarchy as a racist or racial equality as an anti-racist.
And these are the smart black people about basically oppressionology. That's a great one. He's an oppressionologist. And a lot of black people are effectively oppressionologists, no matter what their official title is. Their role is basically as an oppressionologist, an oppression expert.
So I know we have like some efforts to increase diversity in the district. So I'm wondering, especially around administration, are there financial incentives for Black and brown people to work here? It's an extra burden, quite frankly, to be a Black and brown teacher and administrator in the district. And so I think we should start thinking about that financially if we're not already. But I know we call ourselves leaders, and I know we have an Office of Equity and Belonging, so I'm sure we can figure it out. We got money. It's West Hartford. So I know we have like some.
And I don't think people hear it, but I definitely hear it. When you argue in this manner, as this merely being born Black somehow hampers your existence, what you're also telling everybody is that you're handicapped. I'm retarded because I'm Black. Like, that's basically what you're telling people. I can't fix it. I was born Black. I was born Black, and I'll never be able to do anything right. So give me money. Because that's what we do with, like, you know, people who have some type of affliction. You know, people get a check when they're disabled. You know, they can't. There's a reasonable expectation that they cannot function well enough to provide for themselves adequately. So, you know, we give them a check. You know, they get a disability, a Social Security, whatever. We're now extending that argumentation to Black people, right? We are effectively retarded. We are crippled by melanin. Isn't it funny how melanin on the one hand is a superpower, and on the other hand, it's somehow a retardant?
I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, you could put your wig on and lay your edges in the mirror while we having a session. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, I'm going to critique the mental health system, all of the white supremacy, the ethics that don't go along with my community, and CBT. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, I'm going to be talking about how CBT don't work for trauma and oppression and all the stuff that Black women usually experience. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, I accept vouchers from Loveland Foundation and Black Girl Smile. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course.
First of all, what is radical Black therapy? Like, if I took the words radical, Black, and therapy, right? And there's singular capacity, those words mean nothing and all that spectacular. But when you put them together, radical Black therapy, what am I supposed to infer by your linking all those words together? Gonna revolutionize your mind? The revolution does start in your mind. You gotta free your mind, my nigga.
You can text or call me.
That is literally the origin of the context of woke. You know, you gotta free your mind, open up your third eye. My third eye woke.
Whenever you need me. That's a part of the experience. That's part of our community. That's what I'm here for. I'm a part of your support system. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, I'm not going to make you go to the hospital if you don't want to. I will support you in that. But if you tell me that there's something going on and you're not really feeling living on this earth, I'm not finna call 911 on you and tell you got to go straight to the hospital. No, that can be harmful in our communities. We're going to come up with something else. But of course, I am going to contact your emergency contact because you need that. I'm a radical Black therapist. Of course, I'm not going to only use evidence-based practices because What is the evidence based on? Not on people who look like me. So I'm going to pull from different treatment modalities to make sure that you get the best treatment and the best access to care. I'm a Black radical therapist. Of course, I'm going to be like, I know that person ain't try you, because when they try you, they trying me. The fuck?
Radical Black therapy, y'all. Go get you some. Go get you some. You know, I want to share a clip with you guys. This is I don't even know what show this is. I really don't watch most television anymore. You know, psychologically, you got to try this. If you haven't quit television for the most part yet, you should really consider it. Watch all your media on, like, you know, Netflix, just off the internet, you know, just steal, pirate, whatever. But don't just like sit there and let them feed you bullshit media over and over and over again. Because the shit that they're putting on TV nowadays, oh my God.
Make yourself comfortable. There's a couch over there.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay. I had Cephas answer some questions from a Harvard test known as unrest. It is designed to measure someone's level of social resistance.
Social resistance. When people like us oppose the values and policies of the dominant culture.
That's right.
And what does that have to do
Your
with
son, he feels threatened on a daily basis. Like everything he's earned can just be taken away. He's disenfranchised. But because his life is seemingly free from all this, because he can't name it, he's internalizing it.
Name what?
Racism. I think your son's tumor was caused by racism.
Your son's tumor was caused by racism. Yeah, they're probably going to win like an Emmy or a daytime Emmy, whatever TV awards they get. This shit probably is going to win awards, y'all. Shout out to my man Brian, though, with the $5 coffee donation. He said another certified hood classic. I appreciate you, man. Thank y'all for coming out. Hit that like button. Support the show. Click the link in the chat. Head over to buymeacoffee.com if you want to donate to the show.
I need that money. Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
The National Guards have been deployed to DC for more than a year now. What do you make of their presence a year in?
I love them. I love them. Our kids deserve to grow up safe with a different environment. You know, for so long, DC have been a violent city. The goal is to get peace back into the neighborhood and society.
I love them here. Keep them here. It's cleaning DC up. Keep them moving all around DC. Clean them up. Clean them up. I love them.
I tell them thank you every time I walk past them. All the crime statistics say they're down, in no small part because of that.
That's a deterrent. So we haven't had any really serious issues, especially with the teenagers lately. But I think they're doing an excellent job. I just feel bad about the young lady who lost her life last year.
Let's take a look at the crime stats across the nation. We're seeing homicides rate on track to be the lowest in more than a century. Some people are saying this is like a good policy from the administration. What do you think?
We lost more, you know, young people that could have been lawyers, judges, doctors, you know, could have been something in life. I think it was time to get this under control. And I do praise President Trump for that, you know, because somebody showed that they really cared.
Boys in Blue, pretty important for that too. As long as you support them, they can do their job. They do their job. Imagine that the crime rate plummets.
I just say when they came, everything just got better to me, for real. It got better, better, better. Keep it up, guys. I'm with Trump.
He deserves 100% of the credit. And God behind him. I mean, why wouldn't they do something about this? Why would they allow crime to run rampant?
He had to come in and do that. You know, you can't just ignore the elephant in the room, because sometimes people that are bad have to be dealt with in that way. So I'm grateful for where we are.
This is a positive, feel-good story about a Black city trying to recover from its blackness.
New tonight, some neighbors are dealing with a crisis in their apartment community near Grandview Heights. They called 6 on Your Side for help because they say crime is taking over and hundreds of strangers are too. Aaron Simonek joining us live from Runaway Bay Apartments. Aaron, what you are about to show us is shocking, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely, Jessica. Just imagine hundreds of people taking over this apartment complex who don't live here and don't pay rent, partying at the pool, the beach, and even the parking lot. Neighbors who do pay rent say they're concerned for their safety after even hearing gunshots earlier this month. At first glance, the Runaway Bay Apartments seem like a dream, a picturesque landscape nestled on one of these Scioto quarries.
The gate is not locked. It is a free-for-all for whoever wants to come in and out of this place.
But some people who call it home say it's become a living nightmare.
I've had my kayak stolen, my paddleboard stolen, I've had my car broken into, but yet we can't talk to the trespassers.
Carrie Cassidy has been renting here for a long time and says crime is only the start of the problems. There's a dangerous and disturbing trend happening involving pop-up events where hundreds of strangers take over the property, including the pool, the parking lot, and the quarry beachfront. All of this on private property where they don't live or pay rent. The front gate has been broken for months, with people pouring in day and night with no control.
I'm paying $1,400 in rent here. These people come in here and they act like they own the place. We get harassed. We get threatened with guns, with knives. We've had a shooting here just a week ago at our pool.
This surveillance video shows possible shots ringing out at the pool earlier this month.
I was worried about my mom because she was right there. She lives right across from the pool. I was scared to death for her. I was calling her, making sure she was okay.
Renters wanting to stay off camera say there needs to be more security, accountability, and oversight.
Been threatened to have my butt kicked by men, by women. Had women who have literally had their children running around this parking lot unattended.
And take a look at this scene in the parking lot on Tuesday night. Hundreds of random people partying in the parking lot. Why is this allowed? Neighbors say the police, AG's office.
Yeah, so a tale of two neighborhoods, two towns or whatever. And one of the things that I was thinking about, I'm actually digging in my crates here, looking for a particular video clip that I forgot to queue up for this segment, but there's a lot of, let's say, denial. I guess that's the best word for it. There's a lot of denial about like the nature of Black communities and why things work out the way they do in the Black neighborhoods and all that. The idea that Black on Black crime doesn't really exist, but that's the very thing that most Black people are trying to run away from. Like when Black folk make money and they move out the hood, they're not running away from the white people in the ghetto. They're running away from the crazy Black people that they live next to. And it's this thing where we kind of like, in public at the very least, you have to pretend like it isn't what it is. And nobody is supposed to really, speak the devil's name out loud and all that shit. But the reality is like, there's a lot of that energy just generally at large in the Black community, to the point where like it's kind of escaping the bounds of secrecy. Like, you can't really hush it up anymore. And the internet especially has a lot to do with that. Ever since we kind of hit this sort of smartphone phase of the internet where you can share videos really quickly, you can sit on panels and trade histories with people from, whatever part of the world. You can really just share information and perspectives horizontally now in a way that was literally impossible 15 years ago. Hell, maybe even just 10 years ago, the technology wasn't as ubiquitous as it is right now. But because of where we are right now, technology wise, and just, image and messaging wise, it's become too hard to ignore that there is something, and just in the nature of the Black community, just living in general. And it isn't even always like the straight up ghetto either. That's the part about it that's like really deceptive. It's because you always hear people talk about like the wealthiest Black county, which was like I don't know if it still is, but it was Prince George's County for a while. And of all the wealthy counties of equivalent like financial status, Prince George's County in particular has still have like a crazy high crime rate. Even to be, with rich niggas, the crime is still high living around rich niggas, y'all.
I got over like 27 messages from Black people calling me your cracker loving, white ass, loving ass bitch. It's a pleasure walking out my door not smelling damn piss in the damn air and reefer damn in the air. It's a pleasure walking outside and seeing no garbage all over the damn ground. It's a pleasure not even hearing a pin drop in the air. Okay? My neighbors keeping their music down to a minimum, their kids being respectful, not hearing little kids cussing more than the adults. Yeah, it is a pleasure having peace. And if they do have a get together, I don't even know it because everybody is inside. It's a pleasure going that when I park my car, I have my parking space. And not having to knock on somebody's damn door and asking, can they move their car? And they never ever come out to move their car out of my damn parking space. I love the respect that I have living in this white community. You're damn right.
Look at the like count on this video, 65,000. This woman moved to a white neighborhood from a Black neighborhood. And I think people are really waking up that we don't have to live like this. You don't have to be a part of that culture, that society of people who act the way that she describes in this video. And a lot of people agree in the comments. I'm a white person. Happy you love us. We love you back. We, the white people, love you. Nice to meet you, my friend. We crackers love you, girl. So all the white people are embracing this woman, because if you're going to say positive things and you're going to act respectfully, there's no reason not to welcome you into the community.
Since we're, talking about all these blackety black things today, we might as well talk about some lady ball. Yeah, we got to talk about the lady ballers. I mean, because the WNBA it's mostly a Black female league, right? So we're going to have to talk about, Black women and the lady ball league. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But for now, a brief musical interlude. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. I'm definitely reposting this shit he just posted.
Here's the story of some Black ladies who like covering their hair with blonde wigs. But in public, they say white women jealous and that they are the blueprint. When the truth is that they wish they were Caucasian or Asian or lighter enough to pass. And if they can't put on their weaves and wigs, they'll wear a Jiffy Pop bag. The wavy bunch, the wavy bunch. Their heads smell just like some you had for lunch. The wavy bunch, the wavy bunch. Underneath that wig smells like old Crunch and Munch.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's going on, everyone? I'm Tommy Sotomayor. I got a question. You mean to tell me y'all don't see anything wrong with this? That as a Black man, I have to accept that this Black woman walks around with a blonde wig on her head, stinking underneath it, glued to keep it down because she want to make it look natural, even though she claims she's the blueprint. So why would you want to make it look natural when this isn't natural to you? It'd be the equivalent of me trying to put on a pair of breasts saying that I want to make them look natural, looking like this. Well, then no, they don't look natural. No matter how good they would look, they don't look native to me. But
shout out to Tommy and the Weavy Bunch. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Lady Ball. Lady Ball. So there's all this controversy right now in the professional Lady Ball league. People are all outraged right now about the prospect of actual biological males being entered into the Lady Ball league.
Flip this because it'll get everybody riled up, but I do think it's potentially true. One, I think they know they have players in the WNBA that will not be capable of passing a basic gender test. That doesn't mean that they are straight men, right? It means that there might be some of the Caster Semenias of the world that are really, they have way too much testosterone if you followed that story at all. And they're not actually biological women either. They're sort of in the intersex realm. Two, we know that they have a woman who identifies as a man that is taking testosterone. And I don't think that person, based on their drugs that they're taking, would pass muster as a woman under the typical standard. So I think they're afraid. I really mean this, Buck. I think they're afraid of having players, maybe even they know they have players that would not be considered women for purposes of what the WTA, the NCAA, and the Olympic Committee do.
So they do test. I checked this out. The WNBA does test for performance-enhancing drugs and performance-enhancing hormones, it says, as well as marijuana, which I always think is kind of funny. I guess they just don't want people smoking marijuana, but I don't believe anybody thinks marijuana is, unless you're maybe a snowboarder, I don't think anyone thinks marijuana enhances your athletic ability. So maybe skateboarding too. But they test for steroids, performance-enhancing hormones, stimulants. But do they really? I wonder about that. I'm sure that there's the official policy, and then there's the how much of this do they really implement? People need.
There's no way that to put it this way, Buck, there's no way that a woman who has her breast removed that is receiving hormone treatment, as she has said that she is passing a basic female steroid test.
Is the WNBA already full of transgenders? Well, not full is the wrong word, but do they already have a kind of transgender problem in the WNBA?
I heard in an interview, and it's important for you that your son calls you Pops.
I do like Pops. I like Pops, honestly. Like, Rail is mom.
Okay.
It's only one mom. Rail is mom. And then this, whatever anybody else does in their household, I support whatever you want to do in your household. But in my household, I like Pops.
I heard in an interview, and it's important for you that your
now. I don't know what Brittany Griner is or isn't, but I am generally unconvinced. I remain unconvinced of the femininity in Brittany Griner. And I wonder, because in the beginning of the show, I had to kind of make the connection plain for a couple of people, well, for the audience, but Black people in the LGBT community have sort of made a devil's bond. There is a high representation of the LGBT in Black America. And there was a rather unfortunate situation that happened recently, not just the transgender WNBA thing, but something else alongside that we're going to get into in just a minute.
Stop using the phrase biological sex because you sound crazy. Abusers, and includes trans women in that. It's delusional and it's crazy. It's insane. This woman is out of control. But there's also trauma attached as well. But then, but unless a trans woman abused you, this isn't about us. Right. We're not men. We're just not. And for the people who
Can we say it loud? For those of you out there that are watching, we're trans women.
Yes.
We're not men.
The people who abused you are men, and they have abused us too.
Yes. Yes.
We have more in common than
differences.
Yeah.
We are not men. We might have been born male.
Assigned male at birth. I stick to that because it's like, and people are questioning that. But it's an assignment because they're not testing for chromosomes and all that at birth. They look at external genitalia and assign you something that has absolutely nothing to do with the complexity of what makes men and women and non-binary people who they are. So a doctor assigns.
Look at the camera and tell them that, Laverne. What did the doctor do?
The doctor assigns gender at birth.
Now, here's a thought. If being a woman is more than just mere biological characteristics, right? If being a woman is not about your physical reality, then why do you have titties? If being a woman is not a biological reality, then why do you and that fat nigga across from you have titties? Explain to me how you claim to be a woman, and in order for you to be a woman in totality, you said, you know what I need? You know what would pull this female look off? You know what would really convince the boys of my womanhood? Some big ass titties. So how is it on the one hand, being a woman is not a biological reality, yet on the other hand, you both individually felt the need to go get some big ass titties to convince people that you're somehow women? Because there's nothing biological about it. Isn't that just a strange, like, it's hard for people to, it's what do you call that? It's the uncanny valley. Like, you do not actually pass the uncanny valley test. Like, there's something very, very surreal about this whole thing. But that really is the fundamental hypocrisy of the whole uncanny valley. Oh my God. That really is like the hypocrisy of the whole movement. On the one hand, they'll try to say, well, there is no biological reality into being a woman. You can just be a woman or whatever, da 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 da. But for example, when Royce White, when he says, I'm a woman, I can play ball, let me play ball in the WNBA, they're like, oh, well, he's not really a woman. He's not really a transgender woman. Why? Why are you saying he has to go buy some big titties? Because he'll do it. He'll do it. They might be prosthetic titties, but he'll do it. If you say that you have to have titties or something, he'll do it. Or what's the point of transitioning anyway? Like, if it is not a biological reality, what are you actually transitioning? What is the transition then if it's not a biological reality? Why not just walk outside one day with a bikini on and your Franks and Beans hanging out and be like, I'm just a girl? Like, why not do that if it's not a biological reality? Like, dude, you started out the clip saying don't call it biological sex, but what did you go do? You went out and you mimicked biological sex, right? By going to buy big ass titties and a Farrah Fawcett wig. You got giant titties and a Farrah Fawcett wig, but somehow being a woman is not really a biological reality.
Signs. And yes, there is a difference between sex and gender. Yes. And stop using the phrase biological sex because you sound crazy. Stick with me. There's no such thing. We're talking about genetics, biology.
A man in a wig with breast on is telling everyone else that they sound crazy.
Biology just means live it like life. By something that's biological is something that is alive. Biological sex is you sound crazy.
So do we? So do we stop saying biological women and just say women?
I've never with this. I've always used
cis.
Some women get it.
Some get it, but a lot of them are so angry about they can't get past the conversation of, oh God, this is.
What do you mean you sound like a man? What does that mean? Is that another biological reality that they just can't escape? You still sound like a man, all right? With overstuffed titties. Like you sound like a man with stolen titties. Those titties are stolen valor, all right? But like, how else are you supposed to look at it other than you are clearly confused and projecting your confusion on the rest of us, right? And now speaking of projecting your confusion on the rest of us, one of the other reasons why transgenderism has been in the headlines for, a week or two now is, yeah, we're going there. Sydney Starr. If you are unaware, a long time ago, there was a rapper named Chingy. I forget the music he was popular for, but there was a rapper named Chingy. And at one point, a transgender person going by the name of Sydney Starr claimed to have been intimately involved with this rapper named Chingy, causing immense damage to his image and his career. Now, all these years later, Sydney Starr is apparently a reality star and a general internet persona. Sydney Starr was at a hotel somewhere, I think in Atlanta maybe, or in Georgia, and encounters a young boy who was also at the hotel, with his family, of course, and manages to talk that young boy into a hotel room alone. Acts were performed. As the allegations go, Sydney Starr performed an oral act. And I swear to God, this is the sequence of events as I understand them. After conclusion of said oral act, Sydney then attempted to penetrate the young man rectally, of course. And the young man proceeded to fight for his booty hole, because I don't think the young man knew what he was getting himself involved in up until that very last minute. Yeah. That is the story of Sydney Starr. Now, if we don't sell this nigga to the LaQuint Dickey Mining Company, I no longer believe in justice, okay? You need to be making big rocks in the little rocks until the hammer falls off. Like, you just need to be there forever.
I think I'm gonna ruffle a couple feathers.
And notice the mugshot, right? I'm almost positive they have Sydney in a male jail.
When I say this, but I honestly don't give a fuck. With the Sydney Starr situation, with the little boy or whatever, let me say this. Yes, it is absolutely wrong for an adult in any shape or form to fuck with a child. Y'all know how I feel about motherfucking pedophiles. Y'all see me go up on my page multiple times about pedophiles, so y'all know how I feel. There's no need for me to even go into that. But I'm going to say this. As a person who was once a child, who was once 14, I'm going to say I was out here doing shit a 14-year-old was not supposed to do. I have lied about my age. I have talked to niggas that was above my age that I should not have been talking to. I was hanging around adults that I should not have been hanging with, smoking, drinking, basically being fast. And in this day and age, we have a bunch.
It sounds like you're trying to tell me that little boy was fast. Is that what you're trying to tell me? That was the fast little boy? Oh, shit, you're right. Another set of throat wings. Yo, what is up with all these thoughts getting throat wings? How many of y'all believe your throats can fly? I didn't know this was a thing, but now I'm getting suspicious. I'm starting to see patterns emerging. How many people believe that their throats can actually fly? Because I'm noticing a lot of throat wing tattoos lately. It's starting to become worrisome.
Of motherfucking kids who, 1, don't look like kids, 2, don't act like kids, and 3, that be in grown-up spaces doing grown-up shit. And we have grown-ass adults condoning it because we don't have the same old heads that we had back in the day that would slap you across your motherfucking face and sing you about your way or whoop your ass when you got out of a child's place. Yeah, we don't have them old heads no more that put children back in their place when they got out of line. So I'm not saying that it's right for any adults to be fucking with kids, but I'm also not saying that it's right for these kids to be out here acting like they fucking above the age.
Bro, Sydney tried to take that boy Starfish, and she out here saying that the boy was acting too fast. Now, who was in the chat earlier telling me that, this is not a community problem? Little boy starfishes are being hunted out here in the wild. You're not even in jail, which that doesn't make it any better, but, everybody understands that jail is a place where, people's starfish get hunted for. Your starfish is on the line in jail. But out here in the real world, how you out here in the real world trying to hunt little boy starfish? That's crazy work.
Age that they are. These kids are grown as fuck. You got little ass girls walking around with their fucking shorts shorter than they motherfucking panties. Yeah.
What was the little boy wearing? Oh my God. Like, do we even have to do that? Do we even have to do that? Now he was dressed too provocatively type of, what the hell? What the hell is even going on in the community? Said the little boy was dressed like a thot, running around the hotel talking to grown-ups. What do you mean? What are you accusing right now?
But I'm also not saying that it's right for these kids to be out here acting like they fucking above the age that they are. These kids are grown as fuck. You got little ass girls walking around with their fucking shorts shorter than they motherfucking panties. Yeah. You got little boys out here with their dick print showing. Hoochie daddy shorts.
Little boys out here wearing hoochie daddy shorts? What community is this? What community is this? We got throat wing tattoos and little boys in hoochie daddy shorts. Oh my God. I'm doing my best to retire into the whitest enclave I can find. I can't. I just can't no more. I don't want to be physically near any of this shit. Throat wing tattoos and boys in hoochie daddy shorts. I just can't do this anymore. I just can't. I'm getting old, all right? My patience is wearing out. People tell me I'm getting grumpy. I just can't with these niggas anymore.
Girls walking around with their fucking shorts shorter than they motherfucking panties. Yeah. You got little boys out here with their dick print showing. Hoochie daddy shorts. Talking to grown women. And it's like, to some point, we got to start holding. Not only do we got to hold the pedophiles accountable, but like, we got to start holding.
Yeah. Listen, Ms. Cantrell, you are absolutely right. I'm going to be hanging out at the diner, having coffee, chatting it up with the old white guys who are just cruising on retirement, talking about crop shares and farm pricing and tractor parts and shit like that. I can't. I cannot do this. No. No, once I heard Hoochie Daddy Shorts come out of the throat wing voice, she got a throat wing tattoo, and she talk about little boys and Hoochie Daddy Shorts, and I just knew that this isn't a community for me anymore.
And the parents accountable for having their kids in adult spaces, and for not teaching their kids to stay in a child's motherfucking place. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know what y'all kids be doing when they're not in y'all motherfucking eyesight.
Now, mind you, what she's talking about is, I'm not going to recap all the details, but you get the drift, right? Do I need to paint the picture any clearer for you? Do I have to tell the story in 4K? Sydney Starr was at a hotel hunting little boy starfish, all right? And she found the little boy and cornered him, lured the boy into the room with dreams of an adult blowjob, and then at the last minute, Sydney was like, "Give me your starfish." And the little boy said, "No, you can't take my booty." And he ran out the hallway. This is all according to like the police report. And she's trying to blame the little boy because maybe he had on some Hoochie Daddy shorts or whatever the fuck a little boy's guilty of.
Y'all kids be cursing. Y'all kids be motherfucking shaking ass on top of cars. Y'all kids be smoking cigarettes, blunts. Y'all kids be pill popping. Like, these kids be out here in adult spaces doing adult shit and not looking like kids. And I'm not saying that it's right for an adult to treat a child like an adult just because the child don't look like a kid. But what I'm saying is we got to get a hold of these kids out here and start putting these kids back in a motherfucking child's place and putting these kids back in children's spaces. For real. These kids have nothing to do out here. Like, it's nothing for these kids to do. No programs. No.
Now we're going to talk about goddamn programs. You got T-genders out here hunting starfish in the most mysterious ways. And this bitch want to talk about programs and after school sports and shit.
No academic programs, no after school extracurriculum activities. These kids be out here doing a bunch of grown up shit.
I'm with you, Jesse Lee. Shoe program, mandatory lockdown, 23-and-1. Only time you leave this cell is to take a shower. We'll bring your meals to you, nigga. How about that? 23-and-1 for the next 20 years. That's it. That's all you get.
Getting into a bunch of bullshit. Boys and girls. You feel what I'm saying? So it gets to a point where, yes, we have to always hold the adult accountable for doing some pedophile shit. But we also got to get our kids back in line. These little girls are not looking 15, 14. They looking 20, 19, 18. Titties sitting up to their motherfucking chin. You feel what I'm saying? Little niggas out here carrying guns, smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Selling drugs, doing this, doing that. Like, we got to get these kids back in kids' spaces. For real. For real.
You lost me with the Hoochie Daddy shorts, though. Once you told me that these little dudes be out here, these little boys and they dick prints and Hoochie Daddy shorts, I'm like, no, this bitch cannot be the voice of reason. You let a nigga right on your throat. I'm going to listen to you.
It literally takes a village.
Nigga probably wrote on the inside and on the outside. I'm going to listen to you.
And it literally starts to become a fucking problem and a shame when kids and adults, lines start to blur between kids and adults sexually. Like, that's a problem. That's a fucking problem. Like, when the lines start to blurring between kids and adults sexually, that's a fucking problem. Like, there's no way in hell an adult should ever cross the line of talking and fucking with a minor. Like, that's too much. That's too much. And it takes a village. We have to reel it back in and get our kids back in children's places and start checking these fucking adults as well. If your homeboy out here fucking with little ass girls, check that nigga. If your homegirl out here talking to little ass boys, check that bitch. Y'all be too okay and too motherfucking overlooking and, oh, I'm gonna mind my business. No, say something. If you see something, say You see something, say something. You feel me? Because it starts with you. Stop letting shit slide. If you see a little girl walking with a grown-ass man, and that shit look unordinary, say something. Y'all be out here letting shit slide and, oh, I'ma mind my business.
Throat tattoo wisdom, y'all. Throat wing wisdom. Wisdom of the winged throat. That's what we're going to call that clip. Wisdom of the winged throat. You know who else got a little bit of hot water recently? I should have had this one on cue too. I didn't even realize I was going to take it in this direction, but fuck it, we're going in. There's a prominent rapper, an out gay rapper. You know, he's completely out of the closet, gay rapper. Prominent, I guess, isn't maybe the right word I should use to describe this broham, this brother lover, Mr. Brother Lover. But yeah, he is a brother lover gay rapper. And he's made some interesting comments recently. First, I didn't even know this was a thing. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this clip of Santana giving his take on transgenders in the WNBA. Because Santana is basically a transgender anyway, isn't he? I'm asking a serious question, y'all. I need hip-hop fans to tell me, because I'm no longer a hip-hop fan. I haven't really listened to any rap music in like months now. I'm going on like my longest hip-hop hiatus in my entire life right now. I don't know. Do rap fans consider this a transgender? This is a real question. Is that a transgender? I need answers, people. I want the truth. All right, I can handle the truth. I need to know: do we consider Santana a transgender?
Like spot on. What was going through your mind? You know, when you saw this alligator, like, or thought you saw one initially.
Being a little girl on that creek and just knowing, like, you got to kick into. I'm a Florida girl, so it's like you have to kick into your instinct.
He called himself a Florida girl. Apparently, that's how you pronounce it. Don't judge me. Florida girl. There's not as many letters in the word Florida as we all thought there was, but apparently he's a Florida girl.
Like, or thought you saw one initially.
Being a little girl on that creek and just knowing, like, you got to kick into. I'm a Florida girl, so it's like you have to kick into your instincts, and it's like, hey, that's why on the creek you got to be quiet, because you got to pay attention to what's going on around. So we could have been the fool. We out there trying to get food. We was about to be the fool.
Now, a lot of people thought, is this just for the stream? Is this a joke? What do you say to the people who are not from Florida or places where there are actually alligators?
I think that y'all should go to Florida, like, and really experience the creek. And really, like, we grew up fishing. I remember they had the ropes where we would swing and jump into lakes and rivers. Like, yes, being from Florida is so fun. So I think kind of once the show culture, everybody that was like kind of from Florida, it was like, we got it, you know?
Right. That is so funny. Well, we got to ask you too, as a member of the LGBTQ community, how do you feel about trans women playing in the WNBA? It's a very crazy topic, but I feel like you are fit to talk about that. Tell me your thoughts.
I think that I feel like it just depends. I think that trans women are women in their own right, and I think that's fit for the WNBA to decide if they think that a trans should be a part of the league.
Right? Would you like to see that? I mean,
I would like to see my community included into everything. One thing that I really want for us is like when we having like the BET Awards and the VMAs and stuff, I want to see like best new LGBT artists, or like I would want us to have our own category but still be included like, you know, in these things, because it's 2026 now, and so it's like it's
So back to my initial question. Does he count as a transgender? Now, why did I bring him up in connection to the whole what was the other guy named Sydney Star thing? Hunting starfish and shit. Let me show you the clip. Is this another starfish hunter?
Niggas wanna fuck me, kids wanna fuck me, aunties, everybody. Me kids wanna fuck me, fuck me, kids wanna fuck, just wanna fuck me, kids wanna fuck me.
What did he mean by that? What did he mean by that? I'd have no idea what that was supposed to mean. I'm sure in his mind there was a point to all of that. I don't know what that would be, though. I'm just not sure where you're going with a comment quite like that.
Get the receipts.
because that's why I said people like to clip.
What kids thing?
It's a clip where I said niggas want to fuck me, kids want to fuck me, aunties want to fuck me, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so they clipped it, and I think right now too, I don't want to throw shade on nobody else's situation, but somebody else is in the headline for you know that little me gauge, and I'm like, that just has never been my character. But at the same time, you can't. I ain't finna beat y'all hoes in the head about something that y'all want to make y'all mind up to believe. And also, I think people forget that even though I live stream, I'm a celebrity, so I answer these questions on lip service.
Okay,
I don't gotta prop up my phone and answer no shit for y'all because y'all feel like you ain't gonna address it. Yeah, when it's time. I'm on a press run right now, babe.
Right. Okay, period. That part. So let's
mind
address
you,
it.
I don't want to focus on clips that people have. I want to focus on action.
Okay.
This is a video in real time. You heard the little boy said, damn, that shit fat.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And now listen to what I said.
Oh.
No, go back to the beginning. I don't
Hold
need
on.
y'all to miss this.
Okay, we got to hear it one more time. Let me be quiet on the creek. Yeah,
you're watching.
Yeah, you said watch your mouth. You too fucking young. Right.
Some of the YNs outside. Damn, that shit fat. What you say?
Yeah.
First of all, watch your mouth, and you too motherfucking young for that. When have I ever gave kids, cut the teeth, any type of thing? That's action. That ain't no clip. That's in real time. A kid to me, 14, 15, 16, whatever the fuck.
What if the kids didn't know that was a transgender? What if they just thought that was a funny looking chick? You know, a lot of chicks be ugly. Niggas still be trying to go.
See me walking outside of public in a dress and you like, oh, that shit fat. That's not cool. That's not okay. Listen.
Yeah, YN's down bad all the way,
Don't play
bro.
with me.
But by the way, YN's down all the way bad. Why the YN reputation will never recover.
Don't even disrespect me like that.
Yes.
That's how I'm coming. I got goddaughters. I got nieces and nephews and that I'm helping raise. That's watching me. I got nephews that I'm teaching. Hey, me and your daddy, both men, we might be two different men. Your daddy might be one way, I might be this way, but you still gonna have respect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like when it comes to that, it's kind of actually fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I know how the internet is, and it's like
it's an agenda.
Yeah.
Because I knew that would have upset you at that time when that was going viral and you haven't spoken on it yet. So I appreciate you for clearing it up here. And we wanted to give you the space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because we've never heard nothing about Saucy.
Right.
Never.
No,
And you never will. And I'm just like, it's so crazy that the internet always wait till you being champion or hit.
To try to
something
somebody
else,
else.
like, oh, you see what he said, and now y'all trying to entangle it with the songs demonic and this and the third. And it's like that's never the case. But what I want people to know that what's happening right now is God. This is happening for me on purpose. This is not nothing that y'all can strip from me.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet on the Creek is not no song calling into kids about this is not about no child molestation. None of that weird ass bullshit that y'all talking about on the internet.
Like, who even thinks like
Right.
that?
Mind you, nobody
like
was saying nothing about no other
nothing.
song. Y'all saying this now because this is one of his biggest things. Like, stop playing.
And y'all want to feel like we finna take this from him. We finna strip him from this, but y'all don't know that this ain't luck. This is timing and this is purpose. And this is what God had destined for Saucy Santana. I got me another hit.
Not God did it. I wasn't prepared for the God did it part. But anyway, after all of that going on, your boy decides to put out this video clip.
And I said official
of him basically twerking with 12-year-old girls. Why would you do that?
And I used to official when I was a little girl. You gotta be real quiet on the creek.
Why are you basically you were teeny twerking? You ever heard of teeny bopping? Like back when we were all kids, teeny bopping was a thing. You could be a young kid enjoying music. Matter of fact, you remember those albums where they would take like your most popular, radio hits and then drop like a kid-friendly version of it? They used to remake songs until like the most acceptable Disney-approved kid-friendly version of it, right? Kids Bop, right? Kids Bop. Now it's teeny twerking. We went from kids bopping to teeny twerking. Why are you out here twerking with teenagers in an effort to prove that you are not harmful to children? Because that's what the whole like scandal is about, right? You made a comment that sounded crazy, but fine. It was a one-off comment. Sometimes people say crazy one-off shit. Not gonna totally slander you like that, but I'm watching you now, nigga. And then you get up there in front of Angela Yee and all the sister girls. You keep calling yourself a girl, by the way, which is why I'm seriously asking, do we consider you a transgender? A person who presents like that and constantly says, I'm a girl when I was a little girl, are you not a transgender? I genuinely need to know. But that all aside, now you decide that in an effort to prove how kid-friendly you are, you're going to twerk with adolescent teenagers or preteens. They're probably 12 and 13 years old in this clip. And then, not for nothing, I'm sorry, but Quiet on the Creek sounds like something your molesty uncle said to you a long time ago, and you're now reliving that day over and over again. The creek is where it happened to you, wasn't it? Why did you really have to be quiet on the creek? Were you alone on this creek with an adult man? Who told you to be quiet on the creek, Santana? Was it Uncle Chester? There used to be a song back in the day. Holy shit. You guys might not know this. There used to be a song back in the day. At sometime during the 90s, I remember this song came out called Uncle Chester, about Chester the molester. There was an anti-molester anthem in Black America. That's when you know that there's a problem, all right? When niggas drop that anti-molester song unironically, and it low-key was a hit. That was the thing, and low-key was a hit. Like, oh, so y'all niggas can relate to this, huh? Oh, shit. Like, now that I'm an adult thinking back about the reality of it, because I was a little kid at that age, you know what I mean? I was Chester Bate at the time when that music came out. He was low-key trying to warn a nigga. You know what I mean? He was trying to do me a solid, you feel me? But now that I'm an adult and I'm looking back at that era, it just occurred to me how cooked that whole era was. Like we really had an anti-molester a whole theme song. Like the niggas had a theme song, bro. He was like an anti-hero. Uncle Chester the molester had a whole theme song and shit. Mommy, mommy, please don't leave. Because Chester told me to be quiet on the creek. That was little Santana. Uncle Chester took Santana to the creek for fishing one day, and the nigga was never the same. He was quiet on the creek ever since then. Ever since Uncle Chester took Santana fishing on the creek, he just been quiet. He just been staring out off at the wall. He don't really say much, you know. He doesn't talk much. Plays with dolls all of a sudden. Calls himself a boy now. I call himself a girl now. Yeah, we really had public service announcement jams. Like, damn. Because you know what? I remember we were laughing about public service announcements that were on TV back like in the 50s and the 40s or whatever. And it was literally, hey kids, watch out for that weird gay guy. Like that was a public service announcement from the 50s or whatever. And I had to laugh at like the exact same phenomenon. Like if they're putting that shit on TV, there must be low-key epidemics happening. Like they were just out snatching kids. You know, all those stories about little kids getting snatched up and sold to the circus, like shit like that was probably happening, you know? Because they were making TV ads about it, you know, watch out for that gay dude with the nice car or the van or whatever, you know? And then the ghetto had to make its own version called Chester the Molester. and now we got freaking Santana out here teeny twerking. What the hell is this? Telling the girls to be quiet on the creek. No, make some noise, little girl. Make a lot of noise, little girls, all right? Don't tell that nigga to shut you up. Don't let that nigga tell you to be quiet. That is how victims happen. This big grown-ass man with banana yellow hair talk about you girls got to be quiet out here. No. That's what happened to him. That's why he the way he is right now. Nigga was quiet on the creek this whole time. Just letting it happen.
And I used to go fishing when I was a little girl. You got to be real quiet on the creek.
Quiet on the creek. Quiet on the creek. Quiet on the creek. You gotta be quiet. Quiet on the creek. Quiet on the creek. Real quiet on the creek. My bad. Quiet on the creek.
If there's an adult telling you to be quiet on the creek, go find another adult. That's my advice to the children that Santana's around. Find another adult, all right? This one's broken. Can we get a new adult? This one is defective. I don't think this one is working properly. Can we send this one back? Do you still have the warranty on this nigga? Oh, and you know, let's tie all this shit into a nice little bow. In the beginning of the show, I don't know if that listener is still around, but we talked about the inherent homosexuality of the Black revolution, the Black culture in general, because the revolution has taken over, and it just is what it is now.
How much do you think Black culture is gay culture?
I think Black gay culture has influenced most of Black culture, right? So we can't talk about who we are as Black people and how free we are without speaking the name of Bayard Rustin, who was an openly Black gay man, who was Dr. King's right hand, who is the real architect of the civil rights movement. There is a movie on Netflix that I encourage everybody who watches this to go and watch. It's called Rustin. He planned, produced, you name it, the March on Washington. And Dr. King could not have done it without Bayard Rustin. And the beautiful thing about their relationship as friends is that they put aside their differences to make a change for all of us, regardless if you were straight or gay, straight or trans. That was a non-factor. The biggest factor was that we all deserve equal rights, human rights, and our civil rights. And they worked together to make sure that we got it. A Black openly gay man and a Black straight man. Imagine if everybody knew that. Imagine how much further we'd be. We would be going if everybody right now stop the bullshit, stop the transphobia, stop all of the homophobia, and say, let's continue with this torch that was lit years ago, and let's keep pressing forward.
Nah, I don't need this nigga behind me lighting torches. I'm good. I promise I'm so good on that. I do. That is the last thing I want is that nigga behind me lighting torches. I can't. I guess I won't be getting my reparations. All right. Now, remember in the beginning of the show, I posed a very provocative question, which I will now reiterate. If you could suck a dick to end racism forever, would you do it? I swear to God, a lot of these niggas have been trying that. I think that's what's been happening. A lot of people have been trying to suck the racism out of America, and I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working. But all right, that's been enough of that. I think we can move on from this portion of the show. And you know, because I'm willing to, you know, take my own medicine. I will answer the question. I think racism is perfectly natural, and I'm not willing to change it.
Get what they come to church doing? Being gay.
Now let's move on a little bit, shall we? Let's move on. Let's talk politics and shit. Let's get political. Who want to get political? The Black Revolution is pretty much done. And you know what? I think this actually does track. Like, although there's always been, you know, a lot of homosexual people in the movement from ground floor, from the bottom up, I think now that we are at maximum visibility and exposure, it is also a sign that we've kind of come to the end of this thing. And I think the Black political agenda is running into a wall, not for reasons of anything to do with the LGBT, but at the same time, it's all happening on a parallel track. Like, all these things are moving along in unison. And the Black Revolution is just about cooked.
The Black agenda is the Black agenda, but the ADOS agenda for reparations is just for us. I just don't see how anybody has ever viewed that as sort of divisive. You have to have a sort of disaggregation that speaks specifically to the harm that people experience and inherit it.
Well, I have some theories as to how things get divisive, but before we get to that, I wanted to ask you, I mean, it does seem to me also true, though, that if we were talking about any kind of reparative justice for also discrimination that happened during Jim Crow or the Civil Rights era, for housing discrimination, GI Bill stuff, there were, of course, non-ADOS Black people in the United States. So many people who contributed so importantly to the Civil Rights Movement hailed from the Caribbean and other parts of the Black diaspora. And you can imagine quite reasonably that if the reparative justice included those kinds of harms, right, for disproportionate extension of the GI Bill or whatever, there could be plenty of people who weren't ADOS who would benefit, but that
Great
would have
question.
to be.
Snowman in the chat poses a great question. How does one inherit harm? Like, can your grandfather leave his trauma in his will? That's what it sounds like. You know, black folk don't have nothing to hand each other down except for trauma.
You know, that's like a case by case sort of determination. What do you make of that?
Well, I think I think we have to quantify the number when you say there were a lot. I don't think there were a lot. I think there were some. I don't think there were a lot.
Well, I mean, if there were any, like, let's take the kind of magnitude question out of it. If there were any, would they not be entitled to?
If we have millions of ADOS people in this country, why are we talking about them before we talk about us?
Well, not before, but if we were to successfully secure some sort of reparations, I mean, I take your point that it would be very easy, you know, if it's just reparations for slavery, that's one bucket. That would by definition only include people whose ancestors had been enslaved in North America, right?
But I think slavery is a line. It's not just one thing. But second of all, let me say this: if you were better off in this country when you came to America than the country you came from, and you were made better off because we fought for that as ADOS people, what are you owed exactly?
Well,
help me understand that.
Well, sure. I would say that if, again, it's
Now, to be fair, I like that question that Yvette poses, but I don't think any of you niggas are owed anything. Reparations is such a like carrot on a stick type of program. It's not meant to happen. You're just meant to chase it.
reparations for slavery, that's more of a cut and dry, because definitionally we're talking about people who were enslaved in North America. If it's for people who were discriminated against pre-Civil Rights Act, then that includes a number of people who might have immigrated from the Caribbean, where of course they came because of slavery. Their ship just landed in the Caribbean as opposed to North America. And they similarly were subjected to Jim Crow laws and unequal treatment, unequal distribution of government benefits, et cetera, that went so far to create the racial wealth gap. And when you reflect on how many people, Malcolm X, I believe his mother was Caribbean, Marcus Garvey, there's so many people that were part of the movement fighting for equal rights.
And Malcolm X would disagree with you. Like there's a clip of him saying like, not everybody Black or brown or Puerto Rican or Afro-Latina gets treated like us. We get treated a certain way because we are descended from slavery.
Now, the Black movement politically is under a lot of pressure right now, maybe more pressure than it's ever been under, because as the Democrats kind of deal with this socialist uprising, a lot of the Black political power is effectively tied to the mainstream Democrat Party, not really the radicals. And so the Black power base is firmly in the mainstream of Democrat politics, for better or worse. And you got the Democratic Socialists coming up, and frankly, they're just communists with more words. But they don't care for the Black part of the revolution. Like they want Black bodies, as the leftists would call it, but they don't really care for Black politics. And that's what we're learning recently. Hassan Piker has been kind of a rock star in that regard.
On top of these candidates, in their own words, their surrogates are just as bad, even worse, actually. We continue today our exploration of the radical socialist streamer, Hassan Piker. Now, he's Abdul El-Sayed's best friend, and he campaigns for him all the time. And African Americans out there, within the sound of my voice, need to listen up, and you must listen carefully. This is who socialists like Abdul El-Sayed choose to keep for company. Just listen to this. Hassan Piker in Cut 8.
I don't give a what Black people care about. Oh, Black people care about this. Black people care about that. Like, shut the up. That's not how politics works. Oh, well, Hassan, how dare you? Like it or not, Black people care about this issue. It's like, it's such a stupid stance. Any other Black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this chat? Suck my Yes, dude. It's because I'm racist. That's why. It's because I'm racist, dude. Go back to a better time when lynchings were happening. This is what I like as a Black man. Are you always doing too much with Black people? Leave them alone. I want to go back to lynching. Like, I get it, but relax. Man, shut the up, okay? You got me, okay? You got me because I'm a racist person.
You just heard campaigns all the time for Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan. He campaigns for other Democrats around the country. Every Black voter in this country needs to listen to this. And if you look at these Democratic primaries, Black voters have been voting against the socialists, only to be overruled in many cases by young, privileged white commies. Might these black voters find a home in the Republican Party this fall? Well, if Democratic campaigns are adopting the Piker plan of returning our country to lynchings, that just might happen. Did you ever notice, by the way, how violent these people are? You have Jewish Americans say they're feeling constantly threatened by al-Sayed supporters. Now al-Sayed's best friend is out there calling for black voters to be lynched. Beneath all the smiles and dancing videos, there's nothing but hate and violence in the heart of these communists.
We're talking about fucking creating a larger, broad, people-back movement and fucking creating solidarity. And you immediately got Root.com article regurgitators in here instantly being like, sweetie, you don't understand black people. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this sounds so much like solidarity. Like, oh, wow, I really want to work with you. We're all standing together. Is he fucking stupid? Don't answer it. It's obvious that he is.
God damn. That attitude left a long fucking time ago. It doesn't work, okay? Keep advocating for your own fucking demise then.
Again, keep advocating for your own demise. Listen, black people, we're resilient. No matter what happens.
Yeah, left-wing politics has black fatigue now. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. The Democratic Socialist of America, Hassan Piker, the left wing in general, they basically have black fatigue. They need to get these niggas under control. And then I'm probably going to have to do a whole other show just to kind of take a periodic look at black politics and whatnot, because we talked about these socialists a while ago. And there is like a little bit of a black uprising that the Democrats have to like fend off right now, because I mean, frankly, it's a problem of their own making. They've been encouraging radicalization in Black America for a long time. And so now you have this cohort of black voters that are effectively too radical for anybody, for the Democrats, for the socialists, for anything. And, you know, it kind of leaves you isolated in terms of like the black vote, and you know, like who can you partner with? Who can you work with? Everybody's tired of niggas now. That's really what's happening. Left-wing politics has adopted, is afflicted by, I should say, Negro fatigue now. Black fatigue is affecting left-wing politics. But anyway, we're going to come back to politics another day. I just want to touch that briefly, but there's something else I've been thinking about. You know, the very image of modern blackness, y'all.
No hate, and don't take this the wrong way, but you might be the whitest black guy I've ever seen. But I appreciate the content, but you are definitely whitewashed as a black man. I just want to point this out. Did you know that blackness is not a personality type? Did you know that you can't specifically act more black? I guess you can act more like the caricature of what you think a black person is, but you can't act more black. Nothing about me would make me less black, by the way. I want to point this out. I think there's this specific sense of humor or blackness that people think that people have. You got to have specific music taste. Oh, he's got to like rap and this variety. He's got to believe in God, or he's got to play 2K. That's weird. That's really, really weird. Like, I can be shy, I can be sheltered, I can be soft-spoken, I can be not confident. I could speak with a heightened sense of intelligence. Me speaking white, or however you want to phrase it, is not me being less black. That's just weird. I don't understand. I shouldn't be a walking reference point to prove, oh, maybe if you hear that I struggled, or I grew up in the hood, maybe that helped you out. Maybe if I spoke with more twang to my voice, maybe that helped you out. Maybe make you feel better, right? Maybe you think I'm black now. Black suffering is not a cultural credibility, or vernacular speech is not in that variety, right? I think people romanticize the hard neighborhood, the absent parent, the violent school. Oh yeah, the childhood with no money. And then they see me and they're like, you look like you've never survived in your life. You look like you're good at Smash Brothers. By the way, horrible at Smash Bros. I'm horrible at Smash Brothers. I don't know how to wave dash. I also barely like Smash Brothers, by the way. I'm pretty decent at Tekken, but I'm bad at most fighting games. I like roguelikes. I like JRPGs and roguelikes. I'm a huge fan of Shin Megami Tensei, not Persona, Shin Megami Tensei specifically. I don't know what you're going out. I don't grasp it. I had braces. No, I had Invisalign, and people were like, "Oh man, black people don't get Invisalign." I don't get it. My brother took piano lessons, and they said that's not black. I don't grasp it. I took family vacations, and that's not black. I don't grasp it. I had a full.
Oh my God, I used to take piano lessons too. Jesus Christ. Well, actually, I just learned how to play piano in music class. I didn't actually take piano lessons like with a private tutor because that would be very white. But I'm just saying, learning how to play the piano was apparently some white people shit.
Refrigerator. And my friend came over one time and said, "This doesn't seem that black. That's strange. I don't understand. Safety from poverty is not whiteness. I don't think you know that. Proximity to great black culture does not grant ownership over I don't know, black identity. Growing up around black friends, dating black people, listening to rap, knowing the slang, getting invited to the cookout, or being poor alongside black families can give someone, I guess, familiarity, might love or genuine cultural connection. But you don't get you don't get the right to give me permission to transform blackness into this costume, is what I'm saying. Actual black people do not get to clock out of how the world sees them. Because I'm not black to police officers. I'm black to everybody that hates me. They see me online. I'm a black person people hate. I'm not a whitewashed black man people hate. I'm a black person people hate. I'm black while sleeping, studying, failing, succeeding, being corny, being brilliant, saying nothing, and existing. I'm always black. I don't change this. This isn't a costume I wear. I'm black is what I am.
I don't understand this question from my chat here. Hood, you support this nigga on the screen? I neither like or dislike him. He simply is. And he doesn't require my support. You know, nor do I offer it. You know, I don't have hatred or support to offer him. He just is. But I think that's kind of what the concept he's getting at, like the idea of judging his blackness, you know, like I don't really give a shit. I think dudes with painted fingernails are weird people in general. And that's not even a black thing. You know, white guys, black guys, Asians, if you paint your fingernails, that's odd. If you get clear coats on your fingernails, that's still a little bit odd. But generally speaking, like, you know, doesn't really matter. Just there's nothing to think about. Like there's nothing to support or be against. But I guess that's his point. Like if he doesn't check off all the aesthetically black boxes, then we can't be friends. Like, no, we weren't going to be friends for completely different reasons. You know, I refer you to the fingernail paint thing, but it's not because he's like, you know, an atypical black guy. I'm not going to judge him for being atypical. I'm going to judge the hell out of them funny colored fingernails, you know. And then there's this guy.
Welcome to Honor Reserve Raleigh. We're going to pick out a fit for the first day function of the school. Okay, so most guys are going to go with our traditional, like year-round sport coat. I'm going to spice it up today. I'm going to go with our window pane red sport coat right here, since I got NC State. Okay, and so for the shirt, we're going to come to our performance line right here. I'm going to go with our Tattersall Woven shirt. Solid shirt, can't go wrong with this. So for the pants, you can't go wrong with the Classic 5 pocket. Sorry, like most basic pants. We're going to go with the stone versions of these. All right, and then for the shoes, we're going to go with our Highland Chelsea boots. They're in the tobacco color. Super solid pair of shoes here. Can't go wrong with these. All right, so we're going to go with our crocodile belt for the belt. It's really solid, real crocodile, actually. Can't go wrong with this either. All right, so this could be a final fit. We have that jacket, like I said, the pants, the boots, and we're going to go with that crocodile belt. Also that shirt. Yeah, so it's on.
My man is garden party fresh. He looked like he about to go to one of those parties where all the white folk are out on the lawn playing croquet. You know that little game with the little mallet, that hammer thing? You got to like hit the ball through the little goalpost things or whatever. That's the outfit you wear when you're going to just watch some like low-level polo. You know, none of the big games, you know, nothing fancy. Just, you know, some of the lesser-known horses and riders. You know what I mean? And there is this thing in Black America where, like, he doesn't look the part. You don't look Black enough. Right? You look like an ad for the JC Crew party. You know what I mean? You look like one of the Brooks Brothers' adopted cousins or some shit. Like the Brooks Brothers adopted a nigga. But the idea then becomes why is he outside of Black America, and what is that ultimately saying about Black America? And really the reason why his video in particular went viral is because, of course, there was a woman who commented on it, or I think she reposted it, and she basically said that yeah, he ain't for me. And, you know, there's that whole stereotypical thing, you know, the educated lame versus the pookie and all that shit. And then, you know, for a minute, this video went semi-viral and it had a whole conversation to it. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing right now, but you get the gist of the controversy, right? Like the image, the accepted or the expected image of Black men. And I think there's a little bit of unfairness that goes along with that, because on the one hand, and I think I was just listening, I think I just saw what's that girl's name? Her name escapes me now, but I've kind of commented on her content before, but oh damn, it was like right on the tip of my tongue. Shay Sade, I think is her name. But she just did a video recently where she was saying how, on the one hand, a lot of Black men cannot provide the kind of lifestyle that Black women say that they want. But on the other hand, the Black women who want that lifestyle seem to not be attracted to the kind of Black men who could provide that lifestyle, which more often than not goes along with the kind of Brooks Brothers look that he just showed off. And so it creates a weird dynamic between the two, where it's like, you say you want a certain type of thing, but then you're probably going to reject the man who's most likely to give you that thing. So I guess we're talking about Black dating right now. Let's just jump right into that shit. Let's stir that hornet's nest up. You know, I came across a couple of videos. They're almost like the same video, but one is from a Black woman and the other is from a gay Black man. But they are basically making the exact same observations about Black dating, and I think it's a little bit fascinating.
In terms of couple, more sense in terms of. I've always thought that Black women and white men made so much more sense in terms of coupling than white women and Black men. And I don't like to have thoughts like this go unexplored or unresearched. So I put in the time to see why I kind of always had this double standard, like since I was a child and just able to fathom race in America. I want to preface that this is very, very specific to American culture, and that race consciousness is inseparable from our daily life. And I understand that this is a discriminatory double standard. I do come from a biracial family, a mixed race family, and the majority of our family couplings that are biracial, it's a Black woman and white man. But I wanted to get into the thinking behind this. We're stripping away from all romance. I'm not discrediting or dehumanizing anybody. It's a very provocative theory that I'm arguing that Black women, white men pairing is more of a power couple and structurally sound than the inverse of Black men, white woman. But we're going to take a look on the logic of American upward mobility, which I feel was really what I have always believed since I was a child. And I've always had this reasoning for it. Black women hold the highest degrees of education in America, and we also hold #1 purchase power in America. And white men obviously hold the keys to all the structures that hold up America, the privilege, the generational wealth. Their word has the highest value in America. And the vehicle, the fastest way for a Black woman to mobilize herself to the top in America in terms of relationships and who she's associating herself with would be marrying a white man. I would label the white male partner the incumbent. Why that word is because it really demonstrates that his position is so powerful. He has capital, historical, generational capital, the money, the assets, equity. The numbers are undeniable. White households hold 84.2% of all wealth in America. The media. Now, just to recap here, what she's arguing is that for Black women, relationships with white men is it's an economically advancing position. It's advancing their position economically, right?
There's a lot more wealth to be gained from it. And apparently there's just a lot more in general to be gained from it, but wealth being the easiest go-to.
Net worth gap between white and black households in America is 10 to 1. So you're looking at roughly $250,000 versus $24,000 per household. Black women have attained so much educationally. Black women earn over 71% of all master's degrees awarded to black students. Even though she has such high earning potential, she may lack the generational wealth. She may never be able to see and achieve her highest earning potential without someone who brings that capital and has generations that back them. So the white man.
Now that's an interesting observation. And I anecdotally, I think that's generally a phenomenon. That's a pattern that we've seen people play out. Jesse Lee, where he says, black men and white women is when an upperly mobile black man elevates himself up. And I wonder how true that is. I think that, like I said, anecdotally, that has an air of truth to it. That seems to be something I can relate to or, have witnessed or whatever. And definitely from like testimony, that's been the testimony of a lot of black men, as they become more successful, there's just a lot more white women that they have access to. There's a lot fewer black women that they would choose to be around. But money changes things, doesn't it?
A partner for black women, they kind of sort out and cancel out each other's liabilities, which maximizes upward mobility. The merging of a black woman and a white man makes so much sense and being highly efficient in terms of merging capital and upward mobility in America. But that is not the same for a black man and a white woman. It's actually harmful for their mobility upwards in this country. And their word compared to a white man means nothing, being a woman and also being a black man. So we're viewing these pairings as pure mergers of assets and risk. That's the frame. In the next video, I'm going to be going into the black man, white woman pairing. And black men.
Now, again, let's recap. Just from a socioeconomic standpoint, black women feel as though relationships with white men will elevate them and propel them a lot quicker, a lot more reliably than with black men.
So I posted something about the uncomfortable reality about interracial relationships, and the first thing so many people said was, they're going to kill you for this. And yet, here I am. And my point was pretty simple. Once you've reached a certain level of material or social success as a black person, being with another black person who has significantly less social or economic capital creates a bigger imbalance than being with a white person who is also in that situation. Because even when a white person has less money, less professional power, less status, they can bring a social power and dynamic to the relationship simply because they're white. And if you're new here, I can intimately talk about this because I grew up in an interracial household with a black mom and a white dad. I am currently in a interracial relationship with a white man. I'm more financially successful with him at the moment, younger than him, come from a higher socioeconomic background, and these dynamics are very real. What I also have an interesting perspective here is that I didn't just see these dynamics from this relationship. I've been watching it my entire life because of my family dynamic. I grew up seeing the difference in how my family was treated and the access that we had compared to the other families where every single member of the family was black, even though we were all in the same social environment. And the unspoken reason for that was because a member of my family was like everybody else, and so there was a safety there. And I already know what the comments are going to be. You're brainwashed by whiteness. You hate being black. Whatever, say what you want. The comments are open, babe. You can interpret me how you like, but I'm very comfortable with my blackness. I'm just less interested in performing a type of blackness and an archetype that somehow everybody else has agreed is a correct one. And I won't be told I'm any less black because of who I'm dating or my upbringing, something that happens all the time. And sidebar, if we're going to talk about community dynamics, maybe let's talk about that and how some of the meanest people that I interact with are black people who are polarized by me in coming in contact with systemic issues like unfairness, class dynamic, etc., and taking that out on me. Yes, is all of this incredibly fucked up? But this is America, and these dynamics are very real. Anyway, this video is getting long, and they said they'd kill me for this video, so let's see. But for everyone else, I hope you learned something.
It's ironic. I mean, it's funny. Straight black women and gay black men have come to the same conclusion. The white man's ice is colder.
Explain. Black women and white men are more or so equally yoked in the grander scheme of things. No shade out to you. I know y'all probably both like, what the hell? But that's explain your math. All right. All right.
Explain your
All right.
craft.
Nice
All right.
building. Nice
All
building.
right.
man.
Beautiful gowns.
Listen,
Beautiful
beautiful
gowns.
gowns is crazy. When you look at where Black women fall, at least household wise, head of household, education, leading the education right now, the responsibilities that we have, most of the time, we're a little bit closer to each other in understanding. Whereas,
So hold on.
Hey,
Listen,
don't you do it.
I hate.
Don't
listen,
say nothing.
Or is
Well,
what I'm saying.
who are black men? Who is our companion? Who we got? If that's the dynamic,
I'm speaking of when it comes to interracial relationships. I'm not saying it in the sense of like, oh, I feel like Black women and white men should be together. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh.
But a lot of the times I'm saying in the situations where it does happen, if you look at like Serena Williams and whatever man she
I don't want to
married
look
to,
at that. That
I'm
upsets
just-
me. Fuck, I'm
listen.
mad. You shouldn't have never even brought that up.
Why? They're the ones calling her big black.
You don't think white men was doing that too?
Yeah, they were definitely doing. They was doing it the most.
Them doing it is not a surprise to me.
I ain't
Black men
mad.
doing it is wild.
Damn. Notice even at the end there, she was essentially more forgiving of the white man. Huh. Black Love is like the roughest segment of these long shows that I do. And anytime we get to the Black Love segment, it's like I need a drink. I should have had some whiskey before I did this shit.
So I run a matriarchy in my household, and here are some of the ways that I do that. So for now, it's just my husband and I. And one of the main things is our goals are centered through my vision, not his sole vision. And my vision essentially becomes his. So as
You know, this once again, it reminds me of many conversations I've had on these internet panels with various Black women who basically make that type of argument. Where like equality is effectively a matriarchy. And this is why I kind of argue my position so like stubbornly. Because ultimately, if you give in to equality, then you've already subjugated yourself. And, you know, black men, we ain't really got a lot of wiggle room to play with it as it is. So you might as well just go all the way and be an asshole. Because this is what they want. The path to her matriarchy starts out with gender equality.
So I run a matriarchy in my household, and here are some of the ways that I do that. So for now, it's just my husband and I. And one of the main things is our goals are centered through my vision, not his sole vision. And my vision essentially becomes his. So as far as our career goes, because what we often see in patriarchal households is the woman is investing a lot of her time and energy into whatever ambitions the husband may have. So for example, if that husband gets a job offer somewhere else and the man is the head of the household, typically the woman and the children would follow that man to said place, and he would be able to decide what is best for them and their family as far as his career goes. But in our households, all of that is centered through my career, not my husband's career. So if my husband came home today or tomorrow and told me that he wanted to move to Idaho for whatever reason regarding his career, whatever the case may be, the answer would be no, because there's nothing in Idaho that would benefit me or my career. Now, if I call my husband right now and said, babe, we need to move to Chicago for my career, there's no questions asked. He's going to ask me when, and he's going to ask me what the plan is, because another thing is I make the decisions for our household, and I'm 9 times out of 10 the one that sets the plan and figures out how it's going to get done. Yes.
Now, notice how if a man were to take that exact same tone, make that exact same declaration, you would never live it down online. All the women of the internet would be coming for you because they're going to automatically say, oh, your wife is a slave. You just boss her around. Now, when a woman is making that, I guarantee you, there are going to be women, those very same women, they're going to listen to her and say, oh, girl, I know that's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
is, because another thing is I make the decisions for our household, and I'm 9 times out of 10 the one that sets the plan and figures out how it's going to get done. Yes, my husband may be a part of the conversation, but for a lot of those situations, I come up with the plan myself, and then I come to my husband, I let him know this is the plan, this is what we're doing. Another thing is there is no expectation of me to do the cooking and the cleaning in the household. Yes, I do cook most of the time, like for myself. Like I have actually never cooked for my husband before. I will, if I do make a.
Now, notice how modern women, especially the Black women, they love actually to put out this type of content that absolutely does not paint her in the most attractive light. Let's just be kind and say it that way, right? Like, it's hard for you to say this paints her in a good light. And yet the women who make this type of content and then consume this type of content, you can never convince them that they are the problem, that this is problematic behavior. This is not a great attitude. What they'll do is try to force a guy into that position, or at the very least, conversationally, they'll try to shame you for not wanting to be in this like supremely cucked position.
The cooking and the cleaning in the household. Yes, I do cook most of the time, like for myself. Like I have actually never cooked for my husband before. I will, if I do make a meal that is like big enough for more than one person, then obviously both my husband and I are going to eat from said meal. But a lot of the times I am cooking for myself, my husband is cooking for himself, or my husband is cooking for me. I do not cook for my husband. The same goes for cleaning. I don't clean up behind my husband. I clean up behind myself, or my husband will do majority of the cleaning in the household. Another thing is all of the decisions regarding our money is.
Now, notice how she's talking about him as if she is the husband, the breadwinner, and he's the full-time homemaker. But she's talking about him with zero deference. Like, it's one thing if this is just like the dynamic of your home, because I get that not everybody's going to be, you know, the father from Good Times. Not every man is just, you know, a robust masculine figure. And so there's going to be dynamics where, you know, she might be a little bit more, you know, a type A personality, as they say it or whatever. But on a personal basis, they relate to each other well, they get along well, and it works, right? I'm not judging every individual household. You don't all have to fit a cookie cutter mold, right? But what bothers me about this and what frightens men about this dynamic is that it seems to come with an inherent lack of respect. She's describing her husband almost as if he were a type of burden. And not only that, but like she is reveling in his lack of authority and ability. She really enjoys the fact, it's like she has a fly that she's plucked the wings off of. And now she's got this wingless fly trapped under a glass dome, and he performs tricks for her. She, you know, she gets whatever she wants out of him, but effectively he's a fly that she's plucked the wings off of.
I don't clean up behind my husband. I clean up behind myself, or my husband will do majority of the cleaning in the household. Another thing is all of the decisions regarding our money is done through me. When my husband gets paid, all of the paycheck goes to my bank account. It doesn't even go to his account anymore. And I decide where the money is going to go. Our household is very much set up in a way of how can we make my life easier? How can we make sure that my goals and my aspirations are a priority and that they are being met? It doesn't mean that my husband doesn't have his own career goals and that his own personal things are not also a priority. However, everything is, I am centered in this household, and my husband's specific things are secondary to whatever it is that I have going on.
I'm telling you, she is the man. And she basically has an abusive marriage. That nigga needs to be rescued, all right? Oprah needs to come save that nigga. Can we write a letter to Oprah? Like, dear Oprah, my best friend since high school is trapped in an abusive relationship his partner. No, don't make it specific. My best friend is trapped in an abusive relationship. Their partner controls all the finances, makes all the decisions, and demand that all the energy in the house be centered around focusing on their goals. My partner, my best friend refuses to accept the fact that he is trapped in an abusive relationship. Oprah, please help. You know, we got to get this nigga on a reality show. Got to pimp his marriage.
I know that a lot of men are going to be very uncomfortable with that, but let me explain the difference between a matriarchy and a patriarchy and just how men and women are socialized. In a household where the man is censored, when the man reaches his peak, oftentimes that woman is going to be left in the dust and he's going to switch that woman out for a newer model. Whereas in a matriarchy, especially because women are socialized very different, when I quote unquote reach my peak, my husband is going to be brought up with me. I have no desire to leave my husband for whatever man. And most women.
Now, in reality, it's usually the woman who leaves. And it almost doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're broke, if you're high status, if you're a bum. It tends to be the woman who leaves. It's almost always the woman who knows she can do better.
Women do not operate that way. We're just socialized very different, which is why running your home as women, as a matriarchy, is one of the best things that you can do for yourself and for your marriage. Because a lot of men are under the impression that a matriarchy is just a flipped version of the patriarchy, but it's not. As a woman, a womb carrier, it is the smartest thing for our house to be centered around my vision and my desire. And my husband benefits very heavily from this situation.
Shout out to the matriarchy. May it reign for 1,000 years.
Somebody was talking about, I think you were talking to Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey said that you needed a certain type, a rich man. And you were like, I'm good though. Like, I need a kind man. I need a loving man. I need a funny man.
Why do we assume that a nice man is a rich man? Y'all kill me with that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know why that's the thing. And it's like, you're right. To me, look, I don't know everything, but I know what I enjoy is really somebody that's funny. Don't take themselves too seriously.
right.
They listen to me. They like to spend time with me. My parents, my family loves them. They're a
Come on,
family
there it
person. They
is.
love God.
What's better than that?
None of that says got $1
Height,
million
that
in the
don't
bank.
say height. That don't say what they look like. That don't say
The
money.
height would be preferred, but I'll do what I gotta
do what you gotta do.
You know.
I don't care. Listen, there's some,
But
there's
so
some
true.
lovely men,
I
5'6".
love
Don't
that you
sleep.
bring that up because it is true. I do feel like there's something that they do to women that are successful in society where it's like, look, I get this idea that, like, you know, that's what a man cares about. But
Have you ever noticed how, especially like Black media, all these women in one way or another are attempting to sell the matriarchy? That's really what I see with like podcasts and content like this. Like they're just trying to sell you on the matriarchy. You just got different types of pitches, you know, these different infomercials all selling the same product.
But why, maybe we should stop telling men to care about that. Like maybe this whole idea, and this is why we're in the gender wars, I feel like. Right. You're defining men on their value by what kind of car they drive.
Exactly.
What kind of job they
Do you
have.
remember what's his face? Kevin Samuels?
Yes.
Okay. People talk about the disservice that he did to women, and he did do a disservice to women. That whole rate yourself with some hotness. But beyond that, he did a disservice to men as well, because in telling women that to get a high value man,
was
which
the
was to
phoniest laugh. I'm sorry, but I hate phony bitches.
did to women, and he did do a disservice to women. That whole rate yourself with some hotness. The disservice that he did to women, and he did do a disservice to women. That whole rate yourself with some hotness. But beyond that, he did a disservice to men as well. But
That is the fakest bit. I hate Hollywood. I swear, I hate celebrities. Just always in character.
But beyond that, he did a disservice to men as well, because in telling women that to get a high value man, which was to him was certain height, certain amount of money, whatever, they had to be a certain way. It made men who, I think somebody did the math. The percentage of men that make over $100,000 and are 6 foot is a minuscule amount of men. So that means all the women are going after them 5 men. And the rest of the women and the rest of the men are lonely for the rest of their lives because money and height is the most important thing in a mate.
And it also ended up feeling like satire. Almost felt like at a certain point he was being a satirical character, rest in peace, because it was like you wanted to actually show how when you're saying you want this, what if this high value man is, it becomes this game of like, a lot of people want that high value man.
Exactly.
So you're going to have to jump through hoops.
Or
you're going to have to
share.
be perfect.
Or you're going to have to share.
And it's like, and that's like, and it's like that we're cool with that other than just get a high value heart.
Yeah.
A high value heart. If women actually dated for moral character, the world would be a peaceful place, y'all. That's the basic truth of it. If women actually cared about character, at least in that way, initially, the women care about character after they get their feelings hurt, after they get their house broken into, when that nigga didn't bring their car back, then suddenly they care about character.
It's gonna hurt someone's feelings, but what's a green flag that low-key gives you the ick? Oh, I know my answer. And my answer is for surely gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but I truly don't give a fuck. I cannot date a man who is a good father.
You might think that's uncommon. You might be shocked at the fact that she would say something like that. But she is not alone.
It's gonna hurt someone's feelings, but what's a green flag that low-key gives you the ick? Oh, I know my answer. And my answer is for surely gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but I truly don't give a fuck. I cannot date a man who is a good father.
And I'm gonna give you the basic logic of that. And once I explain it to you, you're not gonna like it, but it's gonna make sense to you. And the math is unassailable. The better of a father you are to your children, the less prominent she is or ever will be in your life. Good fathers ain't got time for a bitch's games. Good fathers are not chasing your emotional highs until we come to some bullshit resolution. Listen, my kids get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I got 5 hours between now and then. Are you busting or not? Good fathers understand the basis of female manipulation because, they have daughters. And so she might be sounding like a crass professional streetwalker when she says that. But I'm just trying to tell you, being a good father, there's a kind of energy that you put out that turns these hoes off. I'm trying to tell you, it is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger.
The way an unemployed man will.
Right.
Like that's a different type of love that I think every woman needs to experience, regardless of women saying they don't want to date no broken, I ain't dating no broken ass man. It's a different type of cater to you because their job is being with stable women.
Right.
That's their job. So with that being said, he pays attention to every detail. He knows things, he knows exactly what to rub on your body when you ain't feeling like. It's a different level of love, because this is his job.
Right.
His job is fucking you.
Right.
That's the job. Like, and women get mad at the men that have like jobs and stuff, but it's like, the men that have jobs, they don't have that time. Like, just like you don't have all the time in the world, they don't have that time to hyperfixate on every little detail that you need. Like, they can.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. Listen, don't judge me. I'm purely doing this because it just occurred to me and it's funny as hell. But just think about it for a minute. I work too hard to give you good dick. I'm sorry, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? It sounds crazy as hell. Nigga gonna have to come up with something. All I'm saying is you're gonna have to come up with something. That's not an excuse bitches want to hear. You working too hard to give up some good dick? Oh my God.
Be there, they can be supportive. I love you, this, that, and the other, but I have to work on myself too. See, you either get one or two. You get a person that's working on themselves, you know, that's getting to where they need to go, or you get the man that plans on never working on himself, but he know bitches.
Yeah.
He know bitches very well. Yeah.
That's
So
a guy who ain't got nothing but knowledge of bitches.
you get what I'm saying? He's knowledgeable on bitches.
Facts.
Like that's a different type of, it's a euphoric love. You know, like at one point I felt like
I knew a nigga like that too one time. And like you could tell he was hurt by the shit because he was like young. He was homeless at the time, I guess. So he really needed the couch to stay on. Nigga had to fuck for a roof. It was crazy work, bro. But it's a cold world out here, man. That is a real thing. And then, of course, you know, later on in life, he became an expert bitchologist. I think a lot of bitchologists have that kind of origin story. You know what I mean? You really needed that couch for a little while, so you just had to learn the game until you became good at it.
Can I pay all the bills? You get what I'm saying? I possibly can. It is that I would be probably irritated sometimes, but he probably would know how to take that. No man is going to love you the way an unemployed man will.
Right.
Like that's a different type of love that I think every woman needs to experience.
Ain't nothing like the love of a broke ass nigga. Ain't that some shit? That's that 1990s R&B love. That's that jumping up on stage, dancing with Drew Hill love. And beauty is her name.
Regardless of women saying they don't want to date no broken, I ain't dating no broken ass man. It's a different type of cater to you because their job is being with stable women.
Right.
That's their job. So with that being said, he pays attention to every detail. He knows things, you know, he know exactly what to rub on your body when you.
A lot of people wouldn't know this. This is some very, very low culture type shit. But dudes in jail focus on that type of thing. This is why people think like, oh my God, she got a man who's in jail. Like, how did you meet a boyfriend when he was in jail when you met him? Like, that's a real thing, by the way. Like, women will be dating dudes who are already in jail at the start of the relationship. You know, typically it's, you know, her girlfriend, her baby daddy got locked up and no, he had a friend in jail or something like that. So, you know, some type of shit like that, some type of connection. But what winds up happening is because he's in jail and you literally have nothing but time to perfect some type of skill. And one of the easiest skills to learn is just, you know, the gift of gab, just simple manipulation. Because almost everybody in there is some type of predator. And it's the type of environment where you just learn, you know, the game and the buttons and the triggers. And what winds up happening is these dudes in jail, they become masters of the long distance phone relationship. And so they can, like, you know, say all the things and bring up all the kinds of stuff that emotionally and romantically maybe bond that woman to them, and they haven't ever touched physically. It's bizarre, but you know, girls, bro, what do you want?
Like, really, like it's a different level of love, you know, because this is his job.
Right.
His job is fucking you.
Right.
That's the job. Like, and you know, I mean, women get mad at the men that have like jobs and stuff, but it's like the men that have jobs, they don't have that time. Like, just like you don't have all the time in the world, they don't have that time to hyperfixate on every little detail that you need. Like, they could be there, they could be supportive. I love you, this and the other, but I have to work on myself too. See, you either.
Now, you know what's funny? And especially as like the whole explosion of welfare baby mama culture came out, that became sort of a weird battleground in the gender war, right? And I'm thinking of a particular time and place in Black America. I want to say this was maybe the late 80s, early 90s. It's probably like the early 90s. You guys remember Babyface, the R&B singer? He's like probably one of the biggest names in R&B. Not just in terms of his own vocals, but you know, behind the scenes, he's a writer and producer, I think, as well. But Babyface, he had a very big hit song a long time ago when I was a little kid. And I'm going to recite some of the lyrics to you so you'll understand the nature of the problem. I'll give good love. I'll buy your clothes. I'll pay your rent. Ooh, baby. Can't forget that part. Soon as I get home from work. No, why do you say I give good love? I'll buy your clothes. I'll cook your dinner too. Ooh, baby. Soon as I get home from work, I'll pay your rent. Your faithful lover. Ooh, yeah. Soon as I get home from work. A nigga just wanted you to wait until he got home from work. Because I know there's 1,000 homeless dick slingers in this neighborhood, in this bum-ass ghetto that we live in. You are surrounded by jobless dick slingers, and all I need you to do is wait until 5 fucking o'clock. That's it. Can you wait until 5 fucking o'clock and I'll do all this shit just so you don't jump off the block, just so you don't jump off the porch with bum-ass Dirty Dick Daryl, who ain't never had no job. He live at his mama house, and he keep floating from baby mama to baby mama. I need you to avoid that and just wait for me until I get home from work. A lot of these bitches couldn't wait.
You get one or two. You get a person that's working on themselves, you know, that's getting to where they need to go, or you get the man that plans on never working on himself, but he know bitches.
Yeah.
He know bitches very well. Yeah.
That's
So
a guy who ain't got nothing but knowledge of bitches.
you get what I'm saying? He's knowledgeable on bitches.
Bro, what do you think we're talking? Jobless dick slingers is what this whole clip is about. Jobless dick slinger is like an archetype in the Black community. You guys remember Martin, right? Remember the TV show Martin Lawrence, Pam and Gina and Tommy and them? What they kept saying about Tommy? What did they keep saying about Tommy on Martin? Tommy ain't got no job. But Tommy stayed with a bad bitch, though. Tommy stayed with some bad. That nigga Tommy always was in some box, y'all. That didn't come out of nowhere. That entire comedic bit, it wasn't even thought up in Hollywood. That was niggas from the hood just talking about the way shit be going down. There's always a Tommy. And he always got bitches. And you know what? You know why Tommy dresses so nicely? You know why Tommy is always fly? Because Tommy fucks for his Jordans. Lot of you niggas, you got you a job at the phone company, at the gas company, got you a nice blue-collar municipal job. You ain't never have to fuck for no Jordans. Matter of fact, you think you're above fucking for a pair of Jordans. You think you too good to fuck with some Jordans, don't you? Don't you? Mr. Blue Collar, I got me a white man's job. Yeah. I know, because I got me a white man's job too. You think you too good to fuck for a pair of Jordans?
Facts.
Like that's a different type of, it's a euphoric love. You know, like at one point I felt like, can I pay all the bills? You get what I'm saying? I possibly can. It is that I would be probably irritated sometimes, but he probably would know how to take that. No man is going to love you the way an unemployed man will.
Right.
Like that's a different type of love that I think every woman needs to experience, regardless of women saying they don't want to date no broken, I ain't dating no broken ass man. It's a different type of cater to you because their job is being with stable women.
Right.
That's their job. So with that being said, he pays attention to every detail. He knows things, he know exactly what to rub on your body when you ain't feeling like. It's a different level of love, because this is his job.
Right.
His job is fucking you.
Right.
That's the job. Like, and
And you know what they say, right? Sex work is real work. That's what I keep hearing every time I open up the internet. I keep hearing that from some woke chick who graduated from college with a septum ring. Sex work is real work.
I mean, women get mad at.
And by the way, is this bitch wearing a superhero costume? What the fuck does she got on? Like, what is this? What is all this? This bitch is like the ghetto Avenger. What is going on here? What is she doing? She really got a superhero costume on. What is happening here?
The men that have like jobs and stuff, but it's like the men that have jobs, they don't have that time. Like just like you don't have all the time in the world, they don't have that time to hyperfixate on every little detail that you need. Like they could be there, they could be supportive. I love you, this and the other, but I have to work on myself too. See, you either get one or two. You get a person that's working on themselves, that's getting to where they need to go, or you get the man that plans on never working on himself, but he know bitches.
Yeah.
He know bitches very well. Yeah. So
who ain't got nothing but knowledge of bitches.
You get what I'm saying? He's knowledgeable on bitches.
Shout out to Black YouTube. This is why you got to get away from Black YouTube sometimes, because I realize like a lot of these conversations are basically versions of two different things. Knowledgeable about racism, knowledgeable about bitches. That's basically the practical application of most Black intellect right there. Knowledgeable about racism, knowledgeable about bitches. Which in the grand scheme of things, it means most of you niggas don't know nothing. That's all you niggas know, and you just don't know shit.
Like that's a different type of, it's a euphoric love. Like at one point I felt like, can I pay all the bills? You get what I'm saying? I possibly can. It is that I would be probably irritated sometimes, but he probably would know how to take that. No man is going to love you the way an unemployed man will.
Right.
Shout out to broke dick slinging, man. If you ain't got no money, you still have an option. You're gonna have to start out with fat bitches and work your way up, though. All right, I don't make the rules. It'd be fun. You know what niggas need to do? Niggas need to unionize. All the jobless dick slinging niggas need to unionize. The Dick Slinging Union, local number 1130. I think that would work. Could you imagine, though, the Dick Slinging Union? Be outside protesting for benefits and shit one day. No dick, no dental. Listen, man. As long as you get your rights, don't care what they say, all right? You want dental benefits or not? All right, then look. No dental, no dick. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. We're going to be protesting. We're going to start a homeless dick slingers union, and we're going to get benefits from these niggas out here slinging all this dick, and I got to pay out of pocket for every toothache. No, we need long-term protection in this industry. Dick slingers, jobless dick slingers are a vital part of the community, and they need to be protected. They need a dental plan, all right? Fuck around, get him a 401k.
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media.
Did you know that the National Black Journalist Association, or the National Association for Black Journalism, I think that's what it is, the NABJ, the NABJ, they basically shit on Stephen A. Smith. Like, can you imagine having an award show and you hit a nigga with this right here, bro? This is crazy work. I would want to fight a nigga after this. I would want to lay hands on a nigga behind some. How you do this to me out in public in front of all these white people?
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media.
It sounds like they putting a hit out on the nigga. This sounds like on Demolition Man, he just made the most wanted list. Like, this is what it's like to be a Black male criminal from the matriarchy. The matriarchy is putting out a hit on a nigga.
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator.
This is how they talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger at the beginning of The Running Man. They were like, he murdered 11 innocent women and children.
Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of Black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
Bro, he got cooked by the whole Black journalism institution, y'all. The Black matriarchy is powerful. But as I said, though, this whole Black movement, it feels like it's losing a lot of steam. It's taking a lot of L's. I think we're just about at the end of the rope today. Just going through my my war chest here to see if there's anything I left on the floor here, anything we left out of today's Ooh, it's been a rough day to be Black. I'll tell you that. It's been a pretty rough day to be Black, but yeah. I appreciate all you guys coming out to watch the show, man. Thanks for watching. Hey, we know who's on the board of the NABJ. It's a bunch of fat Black chicks. Let me see if I can look it up. NABJ real quick. The NABJ Board of Directors. Let's see what we find. Let's do a quick scan. Right away, fat Black woman at the top of the list. Oh well. Anyway, totally not surprised in that, but I think we're gonna put this one in the can for the day. I gotta get up out of here. I've been streaming a long time, and it's about time for me to start getting ready for the next day. I will catch you guys on the next one. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the show, click the link in the chat. Support me on buymeacoffee.com. I could use a coffee for today. And click the link. You can hit me up on Venmo, but That being said, we got to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. You guys take care.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, she was the first organism on this planet.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.